may have done it. Let's see here. Can you see or hear me right now? Let's see. Audio and video. Thank you, Lenina. Beautiful. All right, 252 people watching already. This is fantastic. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Paleontologizing. It is great to have you here. Glad you could join us today. And we're gonna have a fun stream. It's gonna be a chill one, I think. Working again at the Ceratopsian site today, and right now it's just me and Katey and Bennett and Ken. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty chill today. If it's your first time watching, welcome to Paleontologizing. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist, and I actually make my living doing science outreach full-time on Twitch. Normally that's back home in my office, covering new paleontological discoveries, new publications in fossil science, doing a lot of Q&A and interviews with other paleontologists, and art and sculpting and 3D printing, all that stuff. But it's summertime, and in summer, I'm out doing field work. So here we are in beautiful, windy Wyoming, and we're digging up a horned dinosaur here at the Ceratopsian site. We actually haven't found any bones in a few days, but hopefully, with any luck, we will today, especially since it's Katey's birthday, and so that would be awesome to be able to finally find some bones. Here comes Ken, He-Man Ken, bringing a bunch of water up the hill. And, yeah. Let's see who is here. And is it Claire's birthday, too? Claire Burr, is it your birthday? Holy cow.
Happy birthday, Claire!
Nice. Yeah. And happy birthday, Katey, too. And awesome. Wow. That is pretty darn cool. Lots of birthdays today. Excellent. Claire, I hope you are having a wonderful birthday. I hope your day has been good so far, and I hope it continues to get better. And may this next trip around the sun be your best yet. Excellent. Yeah. Anyway, let's see, intros. Yeah, we're here in the Late Cretaceous Almond Formation of Wyoming, and we're digging up dinosaurs, or trying to at least. Cross your fingers, we find some bones today. But yeah. Let's go on up there, shall we? And I'll bring my visual aids too, because we've got fewer people in the quarry. So might have opportunity for showing off some visual stuff to help explain some of these concepts and answer people's questions and everything. Oh, and look, we've got a chipmunk here. Hey there, chipmunk. Yeah. They seem to really like me. I don't know. Ken says they keep following me around. But yeah, we've had one making all kinds of appearances in the quarry today. Really bold. It's been fun. Anyway, welcome back to the Ceratopsian site.
Say hi, Bennett.
Hey. There's Katey. Yeah, happy birthday, Katey.
Thank you.
It's not Ken's birthday, but he's still here. So, yeah. Where should I put the camera? I guess maybe here. That works, like yesterday. Here, let me take this off first. And if you're really lucky, chat, you might get a close encounter of the chipmunk kind. We shall see. Let's see. Take this out of the sun as best I can.
Jenny, is this? I mean, if that's okay with you, Ken?
Yeah.
That actually might be really nice, yeah. Yeah, thanks, Bennett.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ken.
Yeah, you definitely put something over it so it's flat.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it does like to do that.
Kind of tuck it under itself like that. Just go like this. Nice. And then even that out like that. That should do it, I think. Cool. Here. I'll put it further back, actually. being so indecisive. There we go. Nice.
Nice and windy day.
Yeah. Coach Tomas says, I enjoyed Katey's turtle chat yesterday. I agree, that was really cool.
What?
You're just standing ominously over me.
I'm sorry I loomed.
No, it's okay.
I was trying to, again, doing the indecisive, where should I go now?
That's fair.
Thought.
Arcadia says, I think there are dinosaur bones in my backyard. I secretly need a pool hole dug.
Where does this person live?
I don't know. Yeah, you're probably unlikely to find a dinosaur in your backyard unless it's a bird. Yeah. Sorry, feeling a little slow today, chat. It's been, what's this, day 27 out here in the field, I think, for me. But yeah, get some questions going in the chat. And Phil A says, not trying to be a troll, but is there a running joke that paleontologists have a wardrobe full of brown clothing? Well, all of these started off, you know, white, and then they just kind of turned brown over the course of the summer with all the dirt. No, I'm kidding.
You could also talk about, you know, the dynamics of the sun and heat absorption and reflection.
Yeah. No, I tend to wear like a lot of khaki and like dirt-colored clothing because it hides the dirt well, and I wear a lot of military surplus clothing, which is cheap and durable, and yeah, it just works pretty well out here. But if you do wear like a white shirt, it will get stained brown just with Cretaceous dust over the course of the summer. So you've seen Nick Hornacek's shirt right now, right? That white shirt that he had is kind of turning grayish brown. Yeah.
Mostly brown now, yeah.
Yeah, and khaki is practical. You're right, Coach Denos. Yeah.
Practical.
Okay.
I'm dehydrated, okay?
Drink more water.
I make those jokes all the time.
Where'd my oyster knife go?
I'll find it. I was abducted by a cult.
It's directly behind you.
Oh yeah, it is.
Thank you. Good thing I did not sit on that. Yeah. And Anonymous says he blends in so well with the background that the chipmunks can't see him anymore. That might explain why they keep coming up to me. Yeah.
I think
They
he's
think you're a
secretly
rock?
Snow White.
They can see him. He's become their deity.
Now, Fiona's got a great question. Why didn't the dinosaurs continue, and why did mammals take over? How do I start this answer? I could start it by talking about the asteroid strike at the end of the Cretaceous period, or I could talk about how long before that, when dinosaurs first evolved, mammals, you know, true mammals arose shortly thereafter. So mammals are almost as old as the dinosaurs. They go back to about 220 million years, something like that. Mammals and dinosaurs coexisted for basically the entirety of the dinosaurs' reign. And yeah, it was really kind of just a sheer freak accident that that asteroid happened to strike where and when it did. And mammals, which had been kind of subordinate to dinosaurs for 150 million years, yeah, they were able to take over after that, fill all these large-bodied terrestrial animal niches that were previously occupied by dinosaurs. So it was really kind of just dumb luck. Yeah.
Tetrapod natural history is just synapsids and diapsids playing tag.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, or synapsids and sauropsids at least. Probably mostly diapsids, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, you know, before it was Gorgonopsians and, you know.
Yeah. And Paleontologist VA says, does Katey work on turtles?
I don't work on turtles, but I have worked with turtles. I'm a biology major, and I went to Costa Rica on a study abroad, and that was where I got to work with turtles.
That's pretty awesome. Like, I'm legitimately really jealous. Got to work with the coolest turtles, too,
Yeah,
with
I worked
leatherbacks.
with leatherbacks, yeah.
Dermachelys. Pretty neat. Yeah. And Charlie's Dragon, you were correct. Birds are surviving dinosaurs. Yep. Oh, and somebody was asking, are alligators or crocodiles surviving dinosaurs? They're not. That actually gives me a chance to break out this visual aid. Glad I brought these up here. Yeah. Let's see.
You have a lot of visual aids.
Oh, he's ready.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
very good
it's
show.
good to like just show rather than, to be able to show rather than just telling sometimes.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. What is a dinosaur and what isn't? Yeah, so I should preface this by saying that we as scientists classify living things based on their ancestry. So I said this yesterday too, but I'll repeat it. I think a lot of folks in the general public kind of assume that as scientists we're classifying living things just kind of based on vibes. Is a hot dog a sandwich? And we just like argue about stuff that's arbitrary like this, but we're actually like finding the evolutionary relationships of these different animals. So when we say that two different critters are related to one another, what we mean is that they shared a recent common ancestor. Like they had the same evolutionary great-grandparents, basically. So you can kind of illustrate that with what we call a phylogeny, or like a tree of life sort of diagram like this. And so dinosaurs began right here. In order to be a dinosaur, you have to have evolved from the first dinosaur. That's by definition what a dinosaur is. And so that's why birds here are dinosaurs, is because they evolved from earlier theropod dinosaurs. And that's why crocodilians, like crocs and alligators today, are not dinosaurs, is because they evolved from an ancestor before the dinosaurs first evolved. So they're closely related to dinosaurs. They do share a recent common ancestor with dinosaurs. Well, not recent, but like, Triassic period. Or maybe latest Permian. But yeah, anyway. So pterosaurs are not dinosaurs, crocs are not dinosaurs, plesiosaurs are not dinosaurs, mammals are not dinosaurs. But you go back far enough and everything is related to each other. As far as we know, all life on Earth evolved from a single common ancestor about 4 billion years ago. But yeah, in terms of dinosaurs, in order to be a dinosaur, you have to have evolved from that first dinosaur. Does that make sense? Yeah. But yeah. And the hammerhead, welcome. It's good to have you here. No, your mother-in-law most likely is not a dinosaur. Yeah. And Sir Little Nerd says, I thought crocodiles were dinosaurs and lizards. So yeah, crocodiles are more closely related to birds than they are to lizards. Lizards are down here. Squamates. And mosasaurs are a kind of lizard. But anyway. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And Red242 says, this is awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that, Red. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Yeah.
Just couldn't see.
Oh, and thank you, Casey Snowart. I hope you're doing great. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. But yeah. Yeah, and I think you can access this if you want to download it or even buy a poster of it. There's a website called, I think, 252mya.com. I need to actually buy this because I've been using this thing for years as a visual aid. But, they deserve some of my money for sure. And maybe some of yours as well. Yeah. And you're getting some more happy birthday wishes, Katey.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, and cool, Casey followed the artist that made that poster on Instagram. Cool. And yes, we are indeed digging for dinosaurs on Twitch, Sure Cake. You bet. Or trying to, at least. But at this particular site, we've got a bunch of bones from a horned dinosaur called a ceratopsian. And we were able to clear a whole bunch of rock to be able to get back down to the bone layer further back in the quarry. And so now we're digging through what should hopefully be bone layer but we haven't found anything in a few days. And Dino Rancher asks, is it a Triceratops? It is not, no. I've dug up a bunch of Triceratops over the years. But this is going to be, we think, a new species or even a new genus of horned dinosaur. So it's a little bit older than Triceratops, about maybe 5 million years older. But it's probably going to be new. There's 0 dinosaurs that have been named from this particular geological formation. So almost anything that we find stands a very, very good shot at being brand new. No, not 55 million years earlier, 5 million years earlier.
Probably. I was over here and I was like, I'm gonna start repeating.
It's closer related to a Triceratops than a Styracosaurus because it's probably a Chasmosaurian.
No, Styracosaurus is a Centrosaurian.
No, I'm saying this.
Oh, yeah. Much closer to Triceratops than to Styracosaurus.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ken, yeah. Oh, do you want to field this one, Ken?
Oh.
This question, did mammals not appear until after the dinosaurs' extinction?
I mean, you already answered.
Well, but I think they just kind of stumbled in.
Yeah, true. Originally, synapsids were the dominant animals, while diapsids were kind of in the background in the Paleozoic before the Permian mass extinction. Then, after what they call the Great Dying, it was a very, very nice time on Earth. The diapsids happened to rebound, and so at the same time that they were dominant, the select group of synapsids became, I guess, proto-mammals or mammaliforms, and then slowly through the Triassic, as the crocodilomorphs were dominant, mammals started coming into being, if you will, and then at a certain point at the end of the Triassic, dinosaurs surpassed crocodilomorphs, and mammals kind of just lived within their ecosystem, never getting bigger than like 15 kilograms.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Small guys, yeah. Yeah, the very hugest ones are like maybe the size of a really big loaf of bread.
Loaf.
Yeah. So yeah, mammals coexisted with the dinosaurs for pretty much the entire age of the dinosaurs, from like the late Triassic till the end of the Cretaceous. So yeah. In a lot of books, you might see if they have like a visual representation, like, here, I'll grab another visual aid. I'm all about these visual aids today. There we go. This geological time spiral. So, here's the present, and you go back in time, all the way back to the dawn of the universe. But, yeah, during the Mesozoic, the age of dinosaurs, or age of reptiles, age of diapsids, whatever you want to call it. Usually don't see a lot of mammals portrayed, because mammals tended to be pretty small critters. And then suddenly it's all about mammals when you get into the Cenozoic. But mammals were there the whole time. They evolved around the same time as the dinosaurs did, back in the Triassic period. But they're small and they're generally rare in these environments. Dinosaurs are like, the major players in these faunas. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Yeah. So mammals were like Happy Meals for dinosaurs, says Dino Rancher. I mean, yeah, for some meat-eating dinosaurs, sure.
You've seen this part right here, how it all of a sudden...
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I'll look at it from this side, and you've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it the way that I'm sitting here.
So it's like the same...
Just get uplifted or what?
It's probably just depositional thing. Like, there's a tiny chance that it could have been...
It could have been faulted, yeah.
Yeah, but I feel more like that's just how it was laid down.
Huh. That's so interesting.
Sometimes I wonder how often plant-eating dinosaurs would eat mammals just by mistake.
Or intentionally.
Or intentionally,
Those
yeah.
little
Like in a
ones,
bush.
like the deer and the sparrow or whatever that was.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Sorry.
It's okay. I guess I'm not sad about like a sauropod just chopping down mammals up in a tree or something. But, yeah.
Sometimes you just need protein.
True. Yeah.
They didn't have Beyond Mammals?
And Yenzoku says, does that timeline count for primates and monkeys as well? Yeah, so primates are a kind of mammal. So we are, you know, human beings are a kind of primate, and primates are a kind of mammal. And a Truckhorn wants to know, how long did it take for mammals to start getting larger and more diverse after the KPG extinction?
Was it the end of the Eocene? It took like at least 10 million years.
Yeah, before they really start to get bigger than like a cow?
10 million years before anything was even remotely like dinosaur size.
I think so, yeah. I think like Brontotheres or Uintatheres might be some of the first like truly large mammals. Like rhino size maybe. So yeah, it took probably about 10 million years. Yeah. Yeah, which is pretty quick in the grand scheme of things, Gojira, but it's also, I don't know, you had large dinosaurs that evolved not too long after the first dinosaurs, so. I don't know, mammals I guess were just so small for so long that maybe there's a little bit of like inertia there. Although I don't know if that really makes sense. I'd just be talking out of turn here. Yeah. And Sir Little Nerd says, what made you pick this spot instead of 30 feet away? Because this is where the bones were. Last summer, a paleontologist from the University of Bath in England was visiting with us. And he went out prospecting for a little bit and found some big chunks of ceratopsian dinosaur frill. And we found like where they were coming out of the ground, and we dug in, and we're continuing that excavation this year. Last year we only had a surveying permit for this area, so we could like surface collect, and we could only dig a 1 meter by 1 meter hole. Clearly we've got an excavation permit this year, because look how big this is now. But yeah. Fall Machine says, let's not dig there, too many bones in the way.
The rising or setting sun.
We don't have that problem today. I wish. Yenzoku wants to know, what are your favorite dinosaur species? You like Velociraptor? Cool. Yeah, Velociraptor's pretty neat. Velociraptor mongoliensis. I think we got this question yesterday, everybody, but Ben, I don't know if we got your favorite dinosaur, did we?
I mean, Stegosaurus has always been a classic for me.
Yeah.
Lately, I think a couple days ago we were talking about this. I've been reading a lot about like feathered dinosaurs, like the Guanlong and other stuff coming out of China. Mm-hmm. And there's some really cool stuff over there that I'm really into right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing some work on a Chinese dinosaur from the same beds, but not a feathered one.
That's cool. Which one?
Liaoningosaurus.
Nice.
Yeah, a little ankylosaur.
Found in Wyoming.
Yeah. That's luck would have it.
Dun, dun.
And Volcano Doc, our volcanologist, wants to know, that's interesting, so surface is 1 meter below the surface? No, actually. It's like kind of makes less sense than that. We can dig a 1 meter by 1 meter square hole. Like that's what it says in the permit, but they don't specify how deep. So my old crew chief back in Montana used to joke that like, you know, you could dig from one side of the earth through the core to the other side, as long as you keep the hole just 1 meter wide. We never did that, obviously, but
You should.
Did you ever try?
missed opportunity.
Street
Yeah.
to China.
I wonder if you could do that, like, not through the center, but like,
Obliquely?
yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's possible.
I mean, you'd get into the mantle pretty quickly in that.
Not fun times.
Yeah.
Much
Yeah.
pressure.
It would have to be a pretty shallow
You don't think
kind of,
even with a 1 meter hole you could do it through the crust?
through the crust. It would be like trying to stick a needle through an apple and only pierce the skin and not the
Yeah.
flesh of the apple, you know?
Yeah.
The tiniest earthquake and it's just.
It's over.
And Volcano Duck says, how many of those holes are you permitted for? That's amazing. Yeah, so with the BLM permits, I think it's more or less like at your discretion. They don't like say, oh, you could dig 16 holes. If you've got a surveying permit for like surface collection and prospecting, then yeah, it's like as many holes as you need to dig. They know that we're not going to just turn the landscape into Swiss cheese because we have neither the inclination nor the time or budget for that.
And we all have tryptophobia, so
Yeah, that would be bad. Yeah. And Joxtua says, I grew up in Montana. Oh, very cool. I lived in Bozeman for the better part of a decade. Yeah, spent a lot of time in Montana. Yeah. And Pixel Sharky says, my friend just recommended this channel. I've been a dinosaur fan since childhood, so this rules. Welcome to Paleontologizing. It's good to have you here. We'll be here in Wyoming for the next few days, continuing these excavations, and then I'll be heading back home to San Francisco for a couple weeks, and then I'll be back out in the field near Moab, Utah, in mid-July, and I'll be digging there for 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. Depends on how much we find and how long the budget lasts. And thank you, Sir Little Nerd, for those 5 gift subs. I really appreciate that. That's excellent. Thank you for your support. Ooh.
Bennett, you hate yourself, don't you?
Yeah. Why do you ask?
The thing you looked at.
Julia Thorne wants to know, what's your favorite digging tool? I guess we can go around and ask, but mine is this. An oyster knife. I've had this thing for probably about a decade. Probably longer, actually. I think I got this in like 2012. I think Bob Harmon gave it to me. Maybe it was 2011. Anyway, this is great for digging through mudstone or sandstone. You're like trying to pry blocks apart, and hopefully everything fractures around the bone. So, yeah, it doesn't have to be sharp or anything. You just got to get the right amount of leverage and kind of pry things up with it. Yeah. What's your favorite digging tool, Kev?
Deciding between an oyster knife and a paleo pick.
Nice, yeah.
Paleo pick means I can move fast, but
Yeah.
this is such finesse.
It's funny, I think digging and I don't think of overburden, but I guess that is, you could still call that digging. Yeah, these are great too. This is what Ken is referring to, chat. An Estwing Geo Paleo Pick. Actually says that right there, Geo Paleo Pick. But these are great for doing overburden. So when we're trying to remove all the rock from above the bone layer, that's what we use. That and shovels and sometimes larger picks. But yeah, that and the right hands can move mountains. And I've never come across a titanosaur fossil myself, Yanzoku. I've done most of my digging in like the north part of North America, in the Cretaceous, and we don't have titanosaurs there. But yeah, but Matt Lamana, who's on our crew, has dug up multiple titanosaurs and even helped discover some new ones, like Paralititan and Dreadnoughtus. So he was in the quarry yesterday. If we have him on stream again soon, you can ask him about it, because it's got some great stories. Yeah.
I just imagine him over there like a kitty little
I
child.
wouldn't say that.
Oh, I
Ken.
know.
Rib, tooth.
It's funny that Lauren did not choose to come back after going to Turtle.
I know. Why would she?
They're finding stuff there.
I would just have anxiety of like worrying about missing something when there's so many small valuable things.
For sure. No, that's a real danger there, like, because you're just getting rid of so much matrix, and you can't really look through all of it, but you're probably missing some tiny things, but
Yeah, that's part of the reason why. Go ahead.
One of the things that really surprised me about that site is
Yeah.
like, there's so much there that like I would pull some mountain fisher and be like, we don't really need that. I'd be like, but it's a fossil. Like, what do you mean we don't need that?
yeah. There's these little things that we thought might be coprolites, but there's just so many of them, they're really not worth collecting.
They're everywhere. There's also a bunch of amber, which I've never like seen in
Yeah.
matrix
That was
before.
the
Yeah.
first thing that I found over there.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of a blunt instrument. That's why I like the paleo pick. You know, I'm
Yeah.
anxious about fine motor skills as far as collecting things. So.
And then I got a question too about, let's see, whether we get to go into civilization to take showers and stuff, or yeah, the answer is some of us have.
Dun,
Dun, dun.
But this is day 28 for me out here without a shower so far.
And he doesn't smell.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm always a little bit worried. It's like, if
No,
I did, would I
genuinely,
realize
like,
it? You know?
I was sitting next to you last night, and you did not smell at all.
Well, there you go.
This is more burlap. This might be. Oh, that can't be the turtle.
I go through a lot of wet wipes out here, so just try to keep myself as clean as I can.
I got the bag out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like here.
Oh, Joe gift subs.
Up
Lenina, I missed that.
from the ground.
What is this?
What were those,
Did you
Lenina?
find something?
No.
Burlap.
Oh,
Burlap.
Burlap.
Lenina gifted a sub to @OysterKnife. I appreciate that. Shoot,
Oyster
somebody's
Knife.
somebody's got that username on Twitch. That's awesome.
Also, thank you, at a truck horn or whatever your name is, whoever gifted me those subs.
Oh, excellent. Cool. Thank you, Truckhorn. Yeah. And Volcano Duck says, seriously? Oh my, OMG, I've gone 2 weeks maximum. Yeah, yeah. I think my record is like 40 days. Not like I'm striving for that, but sometimes
Where
that's
was
just how it
that?
is. I think it was in the Hell Creek. Yeah.
Yeah, burlap and plastic. Yay.
That's my birthday present to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
How do you know?
It's exactly what I wanted.
Den Joga on NPR about Loki Ceratops. It's cool that's getting that much press. Yeah. Thought Den Joga. I was actually a little bit spooked when I heard the news about that, because it's from the Judith River Formation of Montana, and I discovered what's hopefully a new ceratopsid dinosaur from the Judith River Formation of Montana, and I was afraid that somebody scooped me on it, like before we could get ours published, that somebody else named it first. But the one that I found was a chasmosaurine, and Loki ceratops is a centrosaurine, so it's a different critter. Yeah, my old crew chief was one of the reviewers on that paper, Denver Fowler, and apparently left a very lengthy review. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. We'll be covering this next week, I guess, when I get back to my office and we do some fossil news like catch-up streams. That's going to be a lot of fun.
From the Bay Area.
Yeah, from the beautiful, sunny San Francisco Bay Area.
Music plays in the background.
Like sitcom intro music?
No.
It's like a postcard where I've got this. Well, it's like a shot of the Golden Gate Bridge with like waves crashing underneath, and then I like green screen myself in the top of it, and it looks like a postcard. It says greetings from the beautiful, sunny San Francisco Bay Area, and then it's got is it Scott McKenzie's "If You're Going to San Francisco"? Yeah. Make sure to wear some flowers in your hair. Anyway, I'm like way over explaining this. You could see it for half a second and be like, oh, okay.
I'm riffing too much. Don't worry about it, Ben.
No, it's good. We got fewer people in the quarry, so like.
Yeah. I shall riff.
Thou shalt riff.
Yeah. And Paleo Jim, how are you doing? Welcome to the chat, Jim. It's
Hi,
good to see you.
Jim.
Hope you're doing well. Jim says, assume 3D trilobite mummies with 4 exclamation marks. I don't know what that means, Jim, but it sounds exciting. And I want to hear more about it.
Bennett, say hi to Jim.
Hey, Jim. I wonder if he remembers me.
Probably.
Wait, I must have missed something that Jim said earlier that would provide context. Let me see if I can find that.
Yeah, probably need more sunscreen.
And let's see here. I'm not seeing that. And Raven's Quarter says, how big is the dinosaur you guys are digging up at the moment? Probably pretty big. Because we've got several bones from the frill, and it seems like a pretty big critter. It may have had a head that was like 8 or 9 feet long. The full animal itself may be like 20 feet long, something like that. Here, I'll show you another visual aid. Yeah. Oh, Jim says volcanic ash preservation. Oh, very cool. Oh, that sounds awesome, Jim. Yeah. But here. There we go. Yeah, so our ceratopsid that we're digging up probably looks a bit like this. This is Pentaceratops right here. So we've got some bones from the frill so far and some other bones from the skull, it looks like. We might have a jugal, one of the big cheek spikes like that. I jacketed that and I didn't want to field prep it and risk ruining it. So we just, slapped a cap over the top of it and got it safely out of the quarry. So we'll have to unpack that in the lab. And I say we, the preparators will have to unpack that in the lab and figure out what it is. But so far we've got bits of the squamosal right here. We might have more of the squamosal from up top. We're not really sure what one of the bones is, but it might be part of that. And then we've got parietal too. And so we are pretty excited. So far everything is from the skull, which honestly, if you're only going to get part of the body, you want the skull. The skull is what's really diagnostic. It gives you the most information about the critter. But so yeah, ours would look something like this. And a person would probably be about this tall compared to this critter. So yeah, it's got a big old head. And ours seems to be pretty big too from the bones that we have so far. Yeah. Oh, and Dyson Dinosaur says that skeletal is also by Italian paleoartist Lucas Panzarin. Is that right? Yeah, this is a Scott Hartman one, but this one didn't have an artist byline, or else I would have put it on there. But very cool. Thank you, Dyson Dinosaur. Awesome. Oh, and Jim, you should know that Dyson Dinosaur there in the chat, that's Filippo Bertozzo from Italy. I think is working in Belgium right now on ornithopods in particular. And Chain Whippin says Penta like 5? What is there 5 of? So for Pentaceratops, you've got the 3 horns, and then the 2 big jugal horns, I guess you could call them, like the cheek spikes. Those were the 4th and 5th horns on this guy. Even though other ceratopsids also have those. And, I don't know. But yeah, Pentaceratops. And yeah. Anyhow. Drink some water. It's a Pizza says, why don't you guys use a parasol? Like an umbrella? I mean, it's too windy here for that. You would get wrecked by the wind in like the first 5 minutes. It would be nice to have a proper shade tarp, but it also might be too windy for that here in Wyoming.
We're also pretty expeditionary. We don't tend to stay in one place too long.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, good point. Like, shade tarps are...
Yeah.
That's like a permanent fixture at his side.
Yeah.
Like we have in Utah. Yeah. And let's see. Pyro Kitty 7 says, just had some family move to Colorado and we're excited for the opportunity to explore different fossil sites when we visit them. We'll be going to visit Dinosaur Ridge in September with plans to the Dinosaur Quarry exhibit site in Utah on a later trip. Very cool.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Lloyd?
No.
I think probably Dinosaur National Monument, but Cleveland Lloyd is also definitely worth visiting. Just make sure that you go while it's open.
Yeah.
We made that mistake.
Did they say Dinosaur Ridge or Dinosaur
Ridge?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Dinosaur National Monument also, I think they were alluding to. But yeah, Ken here is, he lives in Colorado. What would you recommend in that area for people interested in dinosaurs?
There's a museum in Canyon City called, I believe it's Roy Gorge. I can't remember exactly what it is, but there are actually two places in Canyon City, and then University of Colorado has a smaller paleontology museum, very small but still very nice. And then Denver Museum of Nature and Science is amazing. They just had an exhibit about the KPG extinction, showing the comeback of mammals and crocodilians after the asteroid. And they just opened a Teen Rex exhibit about because of the controversy, we're not going to say whether it's a juvenile Tyrannosaur or a Nanotyrannus, but they're going to be preparing the fossil in front of people for the foreseeable future.
Awesome. Yeah.
And then,
Fruta, Colorado. The Dinosaur Journey
Dinosaur
Museum.
Journey, part of the Museum of Western Colorado. Julia's amazing out there. They have a really good pay-to-dig program.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, that was the first thing I ever did.
I should probably advertise that then for when people ask for opportunities to volunteer. I should make a command for that.
And then if they really like to get out in the middle of nowhere without any kind of structure, there's some good track sites down in, I can't remember what they're called. I think it's like, it's not barbed wire, something like that. But it's down in the southeast corner of the state, around Lamar.
Nice. Cool. Thanks, Ken. I'm falling behind in the chat here. Mid Lebowski, thank you for the tier 1 subscription. Appreciate that.
Is that a compliment?
And what's that big thing above the dinosaur's skull, and what do they do with it? You're talking about the frill on the back? So ceratopsid dinosaurs, most ceratopsians really, I guess leptoceratopsians don't really have it, but it seems to be for display, and I'll show you another visual aid here. And we're going to do all these today, seems like.
Birthday caveman does not look at that.
My ceratopsians.
But, okay.
There it is. So, ceratopsian dinosaurs, this front and back, we've got, this is probably half, or fewer than half of the ones that have been named so far. But lots and lots of different shapes and sizes to their frills and horns and epiossifications and jugal spikes and all kinds of stuff. So we've got every reason to think this is for display, for showing off to one another. Might have something to do with like social hierarchy or being able to demonstrate who's young and who's old, and maybe they're fighting over mates or territory or something. But these evolve so quickly, and it's changed so fast through evolutionary history that we think that it's just like a social thing. It's almost like fashion trends changing, with these different horns and frills and different epiossifications and stuff. So yeah. So these guys on this side are the Centrosaurines, plus some earlier ceratopsians too. And then the Chasmosaurines are on this side. They kind of split sometime in the Late Cretaceous, and you've got these two different families with different lineages within them. But that's the major division, is Chasmosaurines and Centrosaurines for these guys. Yeah. And what's my favorite of these, Eliox? Well, I dug one of them up. This one right here is based on the Yoshi's Trike site specimen at Museum of the Rockies. And it's the Triceratops that's got the longest brow horns of any Triceratops ever found. And it's kind of midway through the Hell Creek Formation. It seems to form kind of an intermediate stage between Triceratops horridus and Triceratops prorsus. So this guy's definitely my favorite because I helped dig up that specimen. Yeah. Yeah, we've actually got some Yoshi's Trike emotes in the chat if people want to use those. Yeah. And I'm sorry I can't see your username because it's green on green here.
That'd be an amazing username.
But oh, Handsy Flopper. Okay. How long were the dinosaurs around in general? Millions of years? So dinosaurs have been around for about 230, 235, maybe 240 million years. And they're still around in the form of birds. So strictly speaking, dinosaurs never went completely extinct. We still have over 9,000 species of them today. And so yeah. About 240 million years, we think. Yeah. Gojira says 170 million years seems to be the consensus. I mean, that's for the dinosaurs' reign during the Mesozoic. That's not including, you know, the 66 million years of the Cenozoic so far. Yeah. And would you like me to clone the participate command with the Fruta information? Bird, that sounds fantastic. Thank you, Claire. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. Oh, and PJ Nothing Man says, can you determine the lifespan of dinosaurs? It's tricky, but you can. Well, actually, you kind of can't. So, we can tell how old a dinosaur was when it died if we do what we call a histological analysis. So you take one of the limb bones and you cut it open, and then you take a section out of it and you polish it down and you put it under a microscope, and you can basically see growth rings inside, kind of like with a tree. So you can tell, you know, with a little bit of educated guesswork, you can tell how many years this animal had under its belt when it died. But the thing is, we don't have very many dinosaurs that seem to be super mature. Like, it seems like a lot of dinosaurs kind of died before they... I don't know if we have any dinosaurs that seem to have died of old age. I'll put it that way. And so, like, what is the actual natural lifespan for a given species of dinosaur? We usually don't know. They don't seem to live that long. And part of that is just that we've not really done enough histo yet to have a good sense for that. There's not been that many of this kind of test done. But it is becoming increasingly prevalent in dinosaur paleontology, which is a good thing.
Leveling it down this way.
Like taking this out?
Yeah, you're just taking this out like level by level by level.
And Decay says...
all the way back.
Oh, we just talked about this, Decay.
Okay. Bottom level.
Yeah. Would we classify crocodiles or alligators or coelacanths as modern day dinosaurs? We would not. No. Because they didn't evolve from a dinosaur ancestor. They're from other branches of the tree of life. So crocodiles are kind of like cousins to the dinosaurs, but they're not dinosaurs themselves. And coelacanths are kind of lobe-finned fish that are still around. Just because something lived during the time of the dinosaurs does not make it a dinosaur. Dinosaurs are a very specific group of archosaur reptiles. And in order to be a dinosaur, you have to have evolved from the first dinosaur ancestor. That's what makes it a dinosaur.
Something smaller, you can use that guy too. Perfect.
So yeah, I hope that makes sense.
Go slow.
Yeah. Hey Dinosaur Dave, how you doing? We haven't found anything yet today, but wish us some luck. Yeah. And Static Life Photo says, when people find precious dinosaur fossils, for some reason their first instinct hasn't been to cut them open. I'm trying to change that in a certain way, and I and a lot of the other people who are like alumni of Museum of the Rockies, glue is cheap, you know? You can get much more information out of a fossil by running these analyses than you can just, you know, not running these analyses. So, yeah. And Real Kyle Hill says, making fieldwork a live stream is a brilliant test of new science communication strategies. Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate the kind words. No, I like to think you're right. I like to think that, you know, this is cool and interesting, and, you know, people will learn something from it. Yeah. And hopefully I'll be presenting on this at the Society of Vertebrate Paleontology meeting in October, talking about how to do paleontological live streams and using that as like a strategy for science communication, like you were saying. But yeah. Ken, do you think you're going to SVP this year?
Oh, I'm going to SVP.
Nice.
I'm not presenting anything, but I'm going either way, so.
Awesome. No, I can't wait. It's been too long for me since I've been. And 08A Jones says, yeah, I've been telling everyone about this. Even my dad has started watching. That's really cool. Welcome. Shoot, I appreciate that. Yeah. And V. Atnam says, well, if you want another opinion, I know almost nothing about dinosaurs, but hearing you guys talk about them is great. I appreciate that. Thank you for saying so. Yeah, no, that's seriously encouraging. Thank you. Yeah. Why not take the stream in with you? Oh, at the meeting? I can't do that, no. That would be very much frowned upon. Even like just streaming field work, there's a lot of crews that would not be okay with that. Because like, oh, what if you find something super scientifically significant live on stream? You know, and then someone publishes it out from under you or something? I actually don't know what the problem would be. But, yeah. And Chain Whippin says, are any kids' history museums streaming this? Seems like would be a blast as a kid to talk to a paleontologist. Yeah, I haven't been approached by anybody yet, but that would be cool. Yeah.
This is just sediment, right? It just...
Yeah, like a mudstone stain.
It's just had a little bit of a shine, so...
Yeah. Thanks for checking that.
Starting to see things.
Yeah. It's been too many days without a bone. Yeah. And Di M. Wing says, where to go? You can't hide the Nephilim skeletons if you stream live. Definitely, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Use the rock hammer.
I ain't getting up.
So how is this similar or different from your expectations, Bennett and or Katey? Like when you were thinking about, I'll ask you first, Bennett. When you were thinking about like coming out here in the first place, how different is it?
I'd say it's definitely living up to my expectations. The one thing I didn't really see coming is the sheer amount of sand and dust that is on me.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Like, my tent right now is like 50% sand.
When we get back, I'll bring you my little dustpan and brush, and you can clean it up.
Thank you.
You need to buy one for the next time you're going to be out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't see that coming.
It's the wind. It just takes those particles, just throws them everywhere.
Yeah. But in terms of the actual work, like...
I mean, you've done prep work before, so you...
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what you're doing.
It's a little different from prep work.
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, working over there was very similar to doing prep work.
I can see that, yeah.
Because there's so many tiny fossils, you're going like one minuscule layer at a time. You're gluing something as soon as you see it. And so that's very similar to what I had been doing, but this is sort of completely different in that it's just like, not necessarily just blasting through rock, but like it's a much different strategy of like actually looking for fossils.
Much more precise. And you're using some of the same tools. I've never used a dental pick in the field until I worked at Turtle Hill the other day.
Yeah, that was interesting.
You know? Yeah. It's always a lab tool for me. Like, why would you even bring that into the field? But there, it's actually useful.
It works nicely though with that little like hook.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Katey? How different is this, or how similar to your expectations?
So, I don't really go into things I do with expectations, because I really don't like to be disappointed. So I guess it's exceeded any minor expectation I had, in good ways and bad ways.
Say more about that.
my first couple of days were pretty rough. Weather-wise, heat-wise, exhaustion-wise. But just being out here and getting to actually dig, even though we're not really finding much at this particular site, recently anyway, since I've been here.
It's been dry for the last couple days, yeah.
It's pretty much since
3
I've
days,
been
4
here,
days?
yeah.
Oh, really?
Well,
oh, shoot.
they were doing overburden when I first got here,
Right.
so they weren't particularly digging for bone at that point. But yeah, I mean, it's been a great experience. It's been like hard and challenging, but definitely all I hoped for.
Nice.
I got to go over to Turtle Hill and find some bone, so that was
nice.
That was cool.
I don't know about you, Katey, but I definitely have been wanting to like do this since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Like, you know, as a little kid reading my giant dinosaur books, I'm like, I want to dig these up.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I actually kind of had some dig experience as a kid. The Carnegie Museum has a place inside the museum that's kind of a big sand pit.
There's one of those
Like
at
a
the
kid's
Utah
dig
one
area.
too.
So I've been digging for bones since I was like 2 or 3. I was a lot better at it back then because it was a guaranteed find.
Right. They stock it with bones, you know?
Yeah. But
They're like cemented to the
So,
ground and
Yeah.
Just
brush
you
sand
just,
away
like, brush
from them.
it off. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is nothing like that, but but yeah, it's been a lot of fun to be out here.
Well, good. I'm glad. I'm glad we haven't all been, you know, too annoying or anything. But yeah. And I am using a camera-mounted microphone, Denjoga. Yeah, it's a Rode shotgun mic with a little 3.5 millimeter jack on it. It's great, and it's got a nice wind weasel on it too to help take care of the wind.
Your friend's back.
What's that?
He's taking a little nap underneath the left side of the bench.
Uh-oh, our chipmunk compatriot?
People, especially from lower elevations, like sea level out east, fail to understand how even like going to Denver at 5,000 feet can have a massive effect on you. So you can get acute mountain sickness as low as 2,000 meters, which we're a little bit more than that here.
Yeah, we're at like
And
2,200 meters.
A lot of times people will come out to Denver thinking they're going to go for a hike, and then they end up spending an entire day in their hotel room just adapting. So
Yeah.
most people are not used to this degree of lack of humidity, let alone the heat. So
I mean, yeah,
So
this kind of
nice,
dryness really kind of saps you of all your body's moisture. That sounds so weird.
No, it really does.
Yeah, just
never
dries you
been
out.
this dehydrated in my life.
Yeah,
I take the dry over the wet any day of the week. Though.
yeah. I honestly would.
hate
When you're doing field work, yes, for certain.
I only adopted the altitude. I was born into it.
You were adopted there.
I had a roommate who could do that impression so well.
I wish I could, but yeah.
He would put a plastic cup up to his mouth, and
That's really funny.
yeah.
Guys, I found some plants.
Yes! Throw it away!
I found some nice kind of vertical roots. Where did they go? They're not nice. They're just recognizable as roots. But yeah, right here. I was gonna show that to the camera, but yeah.
Yeah.
Normally I wouldn't care about this, but I figure you might want to see chat.
Since there's nothing else to show.
Yeah, there's no bone right now, unfortunately. We got some ancient roots in there. 73 million years old, you know? It's, yeah. Pretty, scientifically important there.
So scientific.
Yeah. And Pyro Kitty says, I've always wanted to be a paleontologist. Loved paleontology since I was very young. Ended up getting a degree in anthropology in '07, but never had a chance to do much field work besides a summer volunteering at a Miocene dig site near my college. Oh, very cool. Miocene's definitely a cool time. But, yeah. not everybody who goes into paleontology ever really gets to do field work like this too. So we're definitely very lucky in the sense that, I don't know, sometimes I think of it like, you know, little kids who grow up and they want to be like pro athletes, you know, and then how many of them ever actually get to do that? Like very few. It's kind of like a smaller percentage for kids who grew up loving dinosaurs and other ancient critters who actually get to go out and dig them up. So we're very, very lucky here. And look at what Ken found. More plant material here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those plant bits. Tasty, tasty.
Tasty, tasty.
Yeah, and then... Oh, Katey, Claire wanted you to know that she also experienced digging for fossils in her sandbox at a very early age.
Yeah.
So
It's a good way to get started. It definitely teaches kids about the use of different tools and
Sure, yeah.
gets kids excited about it.
Did you or your brother ever have those like little dig site kits that you could buy?
Yeah, we did. And
Yeah.
we had the ones that were kind of like egg shaped.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we did all kinds of those. Yeah.
I've done those with my students before, back when I was doing like early childhood science education.
I remember
And,
them being a lot of fun.
Yeah, for
Just
sure.
like unlocked some memories for me.
Right?
Yeah.
I would have never remembered that if you hadn't brought it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we did those all the time.
Those are not terrible practice for like fossil prep and
No,
stuff.
yeah.
You know?
Definitely have to pay attention to detail and
Yeah.
small pieces.
I used to make those for myself when I was a kid because like I didn't get those very often. Like maybe if I was really lucky I'd get one for Christmas or something, but like I used to take different things and then freeze them in blocks of ice and then practice chipping away with them with like dental picks and stuff
really
like that
cool,
when I was like
actually.
11
Yeah.
years old. Yeah.
What kind of stuff would you dig up for yourself?
Like pine cones and stuff like that. And if you like make the water really opaque, like you add a bunch of dirt or something, then
takes the
like
fun
then you
out of
can't then you can't see it in there, so it's more of an authentic experience,
I'm gonna get it
you know.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Whoa. And static life photo. Oh, Cusco, Peru. Yeah, absolutely. High altitude. Real weird feeling. They say when the plane levels out to cruising altitude and then just lands there. Not much of a descent. Man, that would be nuts. That's probably like 9,000 feet, I would imagine. Yeah. Oh, and you found a complete giant ground sloth knuckle. Very cool, Pirate Kitty. In the Miocene. That's awesome. And Dan the BC Man, we've got plenty of plant material from this site already. And the rate at which we're finding it, you know, we'd fill up the collections awful fast if we just collected every bit of plant.
Also, the material we're finding here especially isn't very descriptive
Yeah.
of what type of plant it was, so it's not particularly useful. It's not like big leaves and stuff like that.
Yep. Nothing that you could like really describe as a new species, or and it's not diagnostic, I guess. Yeah. You know, all we could say is, "Oh, this is a plant." You know, there were plants back then. Yeah. And Cosmological Kev, it's good to have you here. Yeah. First time asking a question, so please bear with me. You bet. I know, Matt, and you were saying that it is hard to infer what dinosaurs would act like modern animals, but do you think ceratopsians like the one you have found would use their horns and frills for fighting or dominance like animals today that have horns or antlers? It's a great question, Cosmological Kev. There have been a few studies on this, so I think Andy Farkey and co. may have actually published on this with Triceratops, and they presume that the trikes were actually using their horns, kind of interlocking them like that. You see this in documentaries like Prehistoric Planet and stuff like that. But for a lot of these other horned dinosaurs, there doesn't seem to be a good way that they could actually get their horns to interlock. Like maybe they've just got one big horn on the snout. So, yeah, I think it depends on on which genus or species you're talking about, and yeah, in science we're all about testing ideas, and so the way that I think Andy Farkey tested this was looking for basically like looking for scrape marks and stuff like that on Triceratops skulls to kind of see where the horns would be brushing up against, and like, are those areas more abraded or whatever. And he did find that they did seem to have that in some cases. So that's the way that you could actually test that idea, yeah. But I suspect that most of these things are mostly for show. They're probably not locking horns as often as you might imagine, I guess. I don't know. But that's just kind of a gut feeling on my part. But great question. Ow. Whoa. Abrasions on their skulls? Yeah, DM Wing, absolutely. Yeah. More plant?
More plant.
More plant. Oh, that's a really nice one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wow. Probably still not diagnostic, but take a look at that, chat.
but it looks nice.
More plant. It's pretty. Yeah, much prettier than the ones on this side of the roots on there. That is much nicer. Some stems. So we're probably digging in an ancient lake bed right here, like an oxbow lake, or some kind of fetid pond or something. But you just had all of this like plant material that would accumulate there. What's that?
Sounds like an insult.
Yeah.
You
Not
fetid pond.
Not the nicest way to describe a body of water, I suppose. But descriptive, I hope. Yeah. And there you go, Charlie's Dragon. That's exactly right with the horns and antlers. Yeah. Yeah. But DM Wing says abrasions on their skulls. You bet, yeah. It's really cool when you can find some sort of a pathology in an animal where, like, you know, in a fossil critter you might have an injury that shows evidence of healing. So you know what happened during the animal's life, and it kind of maybe tells you a bit of a story about what that animal was doing when it was still alive. Yeah, so like the famous example, one that immediately leaps to mind for me would be Big Al, this Allosaurus specimen from northern Wyoming. And he's got all kinds of pathologies all through his skeleton. So like all these broken bones that healed, and you've got evidence of healing right there, because the ribs might be offset by a little bit, and then there's like a weird growth on it as it was healing. So it happened, it shows that happened during his lifetime when he was still alive, because it actually healed. Occasionally you get that, and it's really cool because it, you know, gives you some feeling for what this animal's life was like. And for Big Al, maybe he was just really clumsy and getting injured a lot. Maybe other allosaurs just picked on him a bunch. Maybe he was just a jerk and nobody liked him. I don't know. But he definitely did get injured a lot, you know? Getting a little speculative here, but yeah.
What did he ever do to you?
He's a jerk and no one likes him. Stupid.
Maybe he was just overly aggressive, or didn't wear proper protective gear while skateboarding, or I don't know. Probably not.
I need that paleo art.
Radical Big Al.
Skateboarder Allosaurus. Going up and down the back of a brachiosaur.
Cowabunga, dude. Don't have a camptosaur, man. Yeah. Oh, Yunzoku wants to know, what made you choose paleontology as a career? It kind of chose me. I don't know. When I was a little kid, I was absolutely obsessed with dinosaurs. And it was kind of heartbreaking for me realizing that I couldn't grow up to be a dinosaur. So I did the next best thing. And here we are. Yeah. How about you, Ken?
Never thought I could be a dinosaur, but it was just the
You never even tried?
Oh no, I definitely pretended to be, but I had the T-Rex hands down. No, even the digitigrade stands, but no. Yeah, no.
This morning, Mandy did a Tyrannosaur pantomime for us, like she does at the museum, because she works in education at the Carnegie Museum, and it was pretty wonderful. Might ask her to do that on stream at some point, but actually no, that would be putting her on the spot way too much. I'm not going to do that. But take my word for it, chat. It was awesome.
I don't know, I've done a lot of the things in my life. I've convinced myself not to do this multiple times, trying to be pragmatic, and I always end up back here, so I don't know where I will end up, but it will involve this somehow. So
Nice.
sometimes you just know what your thing is, and every time you try to walk away from it, you pay for it. So
Just when you thought you were out, pull you back in. Yeah. What about you, Katey?
I don't know. It was kind of a long and windy road to get here.
John Lennon.
Um,
That is John Lennon, right?
It's Beatles.
sounds right.
Okay.
Maybe.
Sorry, I'm interrupting
No,
you.
you're good.
I'm putting you on the spot and then interrupting your
Yeah,
answer.
how
I'm a
rude.
terrible
No.
host.
On my birthday.
Yeah, I know.
it is your birthday, and you can cry if you want to.
Yeah, that's true. I can cry. Yeah.
You would cry too if it happened to you.
I would.
Exactly. Yeah. Now we're
Sorry.
just quoting all the songs. I don't know. I always thought that paleontology was going to be my brother's thing. He was the reason that I was dragged along to the museums at the beginning and kind of fell in love with dinosaurs quietly in the background.
Oh.
I let him have his
I know.
thing.
Can we do yourself? That's not even
And it stopped being his thing, and so I kind of got away from it for a while, and then I was in college and very indecisive about what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, and I guess kind of just ended up back here.
Nice.
So I guess it does kind of just always follow you, find you. Can't get away from it.
It is unreasonable how early we're expected to know what we're supposed to do for the rest of our lives.
really
I mean,
is.
I definitely knew it,
I definitely
even
did
if I
too,
didn't
yeah.
follow. But just your average person, how you're supposed to pick that early on.
I have to like constantly remind myself of that like not everyone has a thing from the time that they were 1 year old, you know?
Yeah, I've had lots of things, I guess. Lots
Yeah.
of phases of interest, and still very much interested in a lot of the things I thought I would do with my life, but this one kind of won, I guess.
Yeah, I've also gone through like a lot of different phases, but this is one that I kept coming back to.
Yeah.
Like I would go in and out and in and out. I kept coming back to this one, and at some point I realized, oh, that's why I keep coming back to this, is because that's where I want to be.
Nice.
Dude, I don't know if it was my dad or where I got it from, but I definitely, like late 90s, early 2000s, I somehow got convinced that everything had been found and that there was not. I know
Wow.
how silly it is now that I know things, but you gotta realize, very early internet, like Wyoming, middle of nowhere, not even near a museum. It was easy to
Just think of dinosaurs as being like a thing in a textbook where it's like,
they start
they're this way.
finding them with feathers. Like, what else could there be after that?
Yeah.
So it's funny when you talk about that, and because I was there. So.
Yeah. That is funny, yeah. Sir Little Nerd says, I love each of their passions. Thank you. Appreciate that. That's what brings us out here, you know? Oh, and Cliff Alistair McLean is wishing you a happy birthday, Katey.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. And that's nice, A. Jones. Engineering. You hated it for 10 years, and now it's a career and you love it. That's really cool. I'm sure, I presume it pays pretty well, too. Which is awesome. Yeah. And I love you, you have no idea says favorite tooth?
Tyrannosaur.
Like of mine, or tyrannosaurs do have really cool teeth.
Oh.
I think I like Leptoceratops teeth the best, actually. So I've had some really cool experiences at Leptoceratops sites and found a lot of teeth. And I found this huge one once, and it was pretty neat. Yeah.
I feel like since I have a poster about a ceratopsoid question mark,
Oh yeah.
teeth from Appalachia, I should probably pick that, but still Tyrannosaur.
My new favorite teeth are from the Melvius.
Nice, yeah. Oh, I really like Ornithomimosaur teeth too. And who else? What's another toothless dinosaur? Oviraptor teeth.
I was about to say that.
To say, I mean, I don't know, depending on the context, they are overrated or underrated, but just the dental batteries of both hadrosaurids and ceratopsians, I mean, that they both convergently evolved that at roughly-ish the same time is pretty amazing.
Uh-huh.
There's a little chipmunk, and he's got a thing in his mouth, I don't know what.
Yeah, he's been marching up and down with, like, tufts of vegetation or something. I think he's building a new nest in the rubble pile, which makes me a little nervous that we're going to accidentally bury him.
He'll escape.
Yeah.
He'll start... Yeah.
They're good at digging.
Oh. How...
Nice.
Oh.
That's a good one.
Well, that reminds me of a dumb joke. You want to hear a dumb physics joke?
Yeah.
Or no, chemistry joke?
I was going to say, is this the
Even
same
better.
What do you do when a chemist dies?
You bury him.
Bury him.
I was gonna tell you another chemistry joke, but all the good ones are gone.
Ah! Ba-dum!
Wait, actually, I have a really good chemistry joke. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So this proton is walking down the street, and the electron just whizzes by him, going like a million miles an hour. He's like, "What just happened?" And then like 2 seconds later, the neutron police come around the corner. They're like, "Hey, did you see an electron?" He's like, "Yeah, he went that way." And they say, "Are you sure?" And he says, "I'm positive."
Nice.
My plants!
Would you like some plants?
Oh, these are nice. Good plants.
Good plants?
Just plants.
Tasty, tasty.
Yeah.
Well, we can probably presume that this ceratopsian didn't starve to death. There's so many plants in this quarry.
It went into the lake or marsh for the plants, and it did not make it out.
Yeah, like Matt was saying yesterday, it's an herbivore trap. Instead of a predator trap, chat, get it? Yeah. But that really only works like, I guess maybe if more plants grow out of the carcass of that herbivore, then you could get, I don't know, it would work at a much slower pace than a predator trap. And Zethrox says, just to make sure, the horned dinosaur you are looking for is Lokiceratops, right? It is not. No. This is later than Lokiceratops. Younger in time. And from Wyoming instead of from Montana. Lokiceratops is also a centrosaurine ceratopsid. And we've got a chasmosaurine. Yeah.
I gotta stop doing that. I'm gonna be a meme here soon. So
It's just gonna be clips of Ken doing like ceratopsid
ceratopsian impressions.
Yeah. We gotta get like a big outfit for like a pantomime horse, except it's like a ceratopsid.
Someone in the front half, someone in the back.
Yeah. Just march around in the quarry with that.
Digging and a show.
And would nightshade count as an herbivore trap? I don't know, Garden Green. That's a good question. Huh. That's West Indian lilac. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. we know they're toxic, but the animals don't eat them.
They only swallow them as gizzards still.
They never resolved that in the movie, do they? Why the Triceratops was sick?
There are like two deleted scenes that have never been put back in.
Yeah?
One of them is Ellie figuring out, like, you know how she rips that... Oh, no, it's... You know how she's looking at the big leaf?
Yeah, yeah.
And surprised about it? I remember this from childhood, which is strange.
Uh-huh.
Maybe this is a Mandela effect, but there was originally... It showed her ripping the plant off from a tree.
It does show her do that.
Oh, it does now?
When they're in the Jeep, she reaches over and grabs it,
Oh,
and then she's looking at it when they
must
go
have
to
put
the
it back
practice.
in then.
Okay, huh.
I thought that at one point they they had that in there too of figuring out that it was. Maybe that was just in the book. It's been so long since I've read the book.
Well, I think it's supposed to be like an ancient plant that she's found. It's such a throwaway thing, but I think the implication is that they've also managed to genetically engineer these plants from the
No, I meant
the
with
Cretaceous.
West Indian wild. I was going back and forth.
Yeah.
I meant that.
Yeah.
I thought that either they initially resolved that in the movie, or maybe that was just the book. But
In the book, they do. It had something to do with
since I've read it.
gasculus, I think.
Yeah.
They're growing right next to all these polished stones on the shore, and they're picking them up with the gasculus.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
It's been forever since I've read that. I think I was in middle school.
I read it last summer.
Nice.
For funsies.
Yeah. No, I need to do that again soon.
It's funny. Hammond is an evil person, and then the lawyer is kind of a hero. And
Yeah. It's the opposite in the movie. Cytec says, hello, this is super cool for a stream. Thank you. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Also, happy birthday, Katey.
Thank you.
Hello, intercontinental jet.
Huh? Oh.
Yeah, there's just a.
Shoot, I
Coast
thought
to coast
I
going
hear
over
I hear
here.
intercontinental and somebody looking up into the sky and I think, oh no, like ICBM. Are there
I thought I was a pessimist.
are there ICBM silos in Wyoming?
Yeah. Montana, Wyoming.
Yeah.
They generally don't publicize where they're at for obvious reasons, but I know there were a lot in southeastern Wyoming, between where I lived and Cheyenne, but I'm sure there could be some out here. I just don't know.
We definitely would see them a lot in Montana, up near like Havre and Choteau. And one time we had like a run in there where we had a vehicle, the trailer, one of the tires on it blew, and so we rolled to a stop just at the bottom of a hill. And there's this little road going up to the top of the hill, and a chain link fence, razor wire, and like some Humvees parked up there, some like radio towers. And we're like, oh shoot! And we look at, they have this like ranch gate over it, near the base of the hill, and it had some sort of really jingoistic slogan. It was like first ace in the hole, like, you know, strike first, don't ask questions, or something like that.
Spreading freedom with every missile.
Exactly, yeah. And so we're stopped just immediately at the bottom of this little road that goes up to that facility, and it's like, you know, 6 vehicles just parked there at the bottom. We're like really quickly trying to change the tire, and we see guys milling around up there in fatigues, and like the Humvees start circling around a little bit, and they're looking at us with binoculars, and we're like, oh shoot, we gotta get out of here.
Surely this must be a communist invasion.
Question you at all?
Let's see.
He didn't hear you.
What's
Did
that?
they question you at all?
No, they didn't come down. We were able to get the spare on there pretty quick. But they did not look happy that we were down there. They were maybe a couple hundred meters away, but we could see them. And they were definitely watching us very intently.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But, yeah, so let's see. And F Mike says, it never rains on stream, guys. Don't worry, it's paid. Oh, very funny. No, it has rained. It rained a little bit on stream yesterday, at the beginning of the stream. And then we've had a couple of other streams where it's rained. Generally, if I think we're going to get rain, I won't start the stream. So there were a couple days where I didn't stream because it was raining. And Smay says, I wonder if any fossils were discovered when the silos were dug out.
If they were, I'm sure it was pre-mitigation being such a big deal, and it was probably immediately destroyed. So.
Yep. Yeah, with a big military project like that, I kind of doubt that they would stop even if there was something important.
It could be a
Especially
perfectly
back in, like, the
preserved
60s.
Tyrannosaur, and
Yeah.
nothing would happen.
It's a matter of national security that we destroy this Tyrannosaur.
Do you think they would stop if they found like archaeological?
At that time,
remains?
definitely not. But
Yeah.
now, definitely not. But this was
Back in the 60s, right?
the 50s, 60s,
Yeah.
Cold War. Yeah, nah.
Yeah. And PJ Nothingman asks if no more bones are found at this site over the next few days, will more overburden be cleared next summer? Probably, yeah.
Tell them about Curry's Law.
Oh, where you dig, what is it, 2 meters beyond?
3 in
3
each.
meters.
3 in any.
And then you direction past the last bone?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2 meters. That was our rule, was 2 meters with
Yeah.
Museum of the Rockies.
And I'm sure we'll find something the day before we leave.
That's usually how it goes, yeah. So that'll be what, 2 days from now?
Yeah.
29th?
And then we will do the fastest excavation in the history there.
And Tomic says, hello, if I think right to fossilize something, mud covers something, it dries, and around millions of years mud turns to stone and makes fossils. Yeah, that's one of the ways that you can form a fossil, for sure. And that's pretty much what happened here. Like, this is probably the bottom of like an ancient oxbow lake, or a little pond near on a floodplain or something like that. And so a horned dinosaur either died right here, or maybe its bones got washed in during a seasonal flood or something like that. It's disarticulated, so we know that it didn't die on this exact spot, probably. Yeah. But, yeah, after time, you just got more and more sediment that accumulated. Everything got compressed, and over millions of years, you know, it turns from mud to stone. So this is mudstone that we're digging through here. And the funny thing is, once it gets rehydrated, it turns right back into mud. We always make sure that we put a tarp over the site at night in case it rains, like it did last night. So the whole thing just doesn't turn into a giant mud pit. I've been at sites before where either they forgot to tarp it, or it's just a really weird shape, and like you can't prevent water from running under the tarp, and so the whole thing just turns into a bog overnight. And you might have to wait a couple days for it to dry out before you can dig again. Let's see here. And Bane Glory says, fun fact, the term Oxbow Lake is actually older than these dinosaurs. Is it really? I mean, an oxbow, is that like a yoke that you put on oxen, or? Oh, who is that bug?
I do not know, some kind of fly.
Yeah, pretty one. Look at that patterning on the wings. I'd show you, chat, but the fly would fly away. Yeah, I do think oxbow is probably a... Is that a reference to archery, or is it a reference to like a yoke that you'd put on oxen, or what is it?
I think it's a yoke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Danny.
Oh, thank you, Ken.
Yeah. He doesn't like the wind, so he might be
Yeah, let me
Easy
shield
to-
him from the wind.
easy to keep
But
on
that
there.
is a weird, cool bug. Check him out, chat. Yeah, who are you? Oop,
Oh, did he fly right at the...
right back to the, yeah. Just trying to stay out of the wind
Oh, there it goes.
on your water bottle. You like crashed into your water bottle and
Yeah.
then landed on the ground. But yeah. Plant.
Oh, we tried.
Yep. Well, they got a brief glimpse. Yeah.
It is moth's time.
Ooh, nice. Lenina says the Oxbow Lake is named after the U-shaped collar of an ox yoke. Nice. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and Lenina and Claire, I actually want to be in the science and technology category for right now. I think that's just about perfect. We've got lucky number 666 viewers currently.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The devil.
Yeah, we'll definitely be at the top of that category, I think.
Ow. Ow! Just a bug. Sorry.
Oh. Yeah. And One Fun Panda says, I guess he can't see me? Who, the bug? What do you mean? But yeah, trying to promote science here, Volcano Doc, absolutely. And Grand Bridget says, I only saw it for a second, but I think it was a tiger bee fly. That's I don't know what that is, but that sounds right.
That's cool that you have
That
someone
sounds like
in the chat who
an
knows
accurate
that.
description of
Yeah.
that bug, yeah.
We did have some kind of bee fly here earlier, but that one had kind of stripy stripes, so I could totally hear that being a tiger bee fly. And One Fun Panda wanted to know, why is Eretmormyphus so weird? I'm not familiar with that taxon. I don't know what that critter is. Yeah. And what, you want to know why it's so weird? I don't know what it is. Sorry. Is that a dinosaur or is it another kind of critter? Let's see, Wikipedia. Oh yeah, so it's like an ichthyosaur ancestor. So it's not a dinosaur. Yeah. Yeah, it is a weird critter though. I forgot about this guy.
What's weird about it?
Shoot, you want to see?
Yeah.
It is bizarre.
Oh yeah.
So it might be like an ichthyosaur ancestor, but trying to embiggen this and it's not working.
That's okay.
But it's got osteoderms on its back too.
Yeah.
Incredibly weird.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, marine reptiles do all kinds of weird stuff, especially in the Triassic. So many weird Triassic guys. They are super neat. But I don't know a lot about that guy.
How big ichthyosaurs get after the Permian mass extinction?
Yeah,
That's
like
insane.
whale size.
Yeah.
Like potentially bigger than the biggest blue whales. If some authors are correct about that. But yeah. And Captain Dagon says, Kyle Hill sent me here. He likes your thank you, Captain Dagon, for showing up. Appreciate it. Welcome to Paleontologizing. We're trying to dig up a horned dinosaur here in this quarry, but we haven't found any bones in several days now. And, yeah. And Katey, you might be too low right there, too. I think that's lower than the lowest bone that we found so far. Yeah.
Where was it, just so I know?
I think basically like where Bennett's boots are.
So
a little bit higher
like
than that
right
actually
here
is the lowest bone.
would probably be the lowest.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm probably gonna start digging in over here.
Yeah.
Or I'll clear this first. But yeah.
It's right here, man. It's right here.
That's where our ceratopsian face is gonna be.
The premax, the
Nice.
rostral,
Yeah.
and the Tyrannosaurid manus in its mouth.
There you go, yeah. Yeah, it made its living biting the hands off
Whoa.
of Tyrannosaur.
Oh ho ho!
Whoa. Good catch.
It's a little windy.
Little bit.
If you want to work there, I can move further this way on this.
And thank you,
Look, I'm not even
Trickner, for
holding
the
it.
42 months of support. That's a long time. Really appreciate that.
And now I lost all equipment.
Hey Ken, I got you some plants.
Yes!
Uncle Stinker wants to know if I've ever used a dinosaur bone as a toothpick or a comb.
With palm trees right
Yeah,
here. Thank
exactly.
I can't say I have.
you. Do you like that?
They tend to be too big for that, honestly. And if they're smaller than that, then they're too delicate. I do have a Tyrannosaur tooth necklace at home, which I normally would not do, because, like, normally, you know, these things belong in museums, but this was on private land, and that day I was trying to find a place to, you know, heed nature's call. And I found a little, like, sinkhole on the side of a hill. And I'm like, okay. And then I look down, and there's this little glint I catch in my eye, and it's this beautiful little Gorgosaur tooth. So it was already out of stratigraphic context and everything. So it wouldn't have been scientifically useful. But you can't just leave something like that, you know, to get washed away, not on private land. And so I asked my crew chief about it, and he's like, yeah, keep it, you know? So I did. So it's a necklace that I've got back home from the Judith River Formation.
Gorgosaurus is the best Tyrannosaurid name.
It is pretty cool.
Lythronax, however you say, that's pretty cool too.
It is cool.
But
it also sounds like a drug name. Did I ever tell you that?
Sounds like a drug name, or?
Yeah, so when this must have been like 2014, I think, at the Dead Lizard Society meeting, Denver Fowler, like we were reading the Lythronax paper. He's like, that sounds like a prescription. You know?
Prescription for death.
We came up with like, has Laramidia left you feeling isolated? Ask your doctor if Lythronax is right for you.
Not to be used with Teratophonius.
Yeah. Coach Tomas says Ken is awesome.
Thank you.
How did it glint, says Sir Little Nerd. So a lot of dinosaur teeth, you know, they've got a shiny texture to them because they've got, is it dentine or is it enamel or is it both? It might just be dentine.
I think just dentine.
Yeah, but it had just kind of a shimmer in the sunlight. Happened to catch my eye. Dr. Hub says, Laramidia can never make me feel as isolated as New Zealand. I mean, true, yeah. That's actually one of the things that we're doing out here is we're trying to test the whole fondal endemism hypothesis for Laramidia and the Late Cretaceous. Like, do you actually have different kinds of dinosaur at the same time, kind of segregated latitudinally? Or are the dates just a little bit off? And what we're seeing is actually just like evolution throughout that. And that's why the dinosaurs look different. Like they're actually from slightly different times. That's one of the things that we're trying to test out here in the Almond Formation of Wyoming.
We shall solve it with an arm wrestle.
There you go, yeah. Yeah, so hopefully in a few years you'll be able to read about some of the stuff once we get it published. And it should be a big deal, we hope. It's neat stuff that we're doing here, not to, you know, toot our own ceratopsian horn too much, but it's, this is important work, it really is. That's why we're continuing to dig at this quarry after having not found any bones for several days, because, like, if we do happen upon the face of this animal, that's going to be a big deal. We'll be able to more easily compare it to some other horned dinosaurs and, you know, figure out its relationships. Yeah. And Golganek, is it your birthday today too? Holy cow.
Happy birthday, Golganek.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, fantastic. It's also Claire Burr's birthday and it's Katey's birthday here in the quarry. Yeah. Very cool. And One Fun Panda wants to know, did stegosaurs ever fight allosaurs? Oh yeah. We actually have direct evidence of this, we think. Do you want to talk about that, Ken?
If you're going to put me on the spot, sure. There's a pelvic boot, which is the anterior forwardmost hip bone in dinosaurs that has a hole that matches a thagomizer. So, and I believe the Allosaurus survived it, which is quite
so it shows healing, yeah.
Quite a wound to survive. So.
Yeah, because you're like taking a stegosaur spike to the groin, like, and it like pierces through your pubic bone. That's nuts. And the animal survived
Would
at least
you
long
want
enough
to survive? Like,
but the hole is just the right shape where it seems to be from a stegosaur spike. But yeah, I don't know how you test that more rigorously than just saying it looks like it's the right shape.
I mean, what else could it be? There weren't spikes for the Allosaur to jump down upon, you know.
True. I mean, unless it's like jumping up and down on a Gorgoilosaurus or Mimorapelta or something. But Yeah. It's probably not, you know, a ship-boring worm or whatever. Named for the late Thag Simmons. Exactly, DM Wing. Yeah. Yeah.
R.I.P.
And the tail spikes, yeah, so that's the kind of informal term for that array of tail spikes on stegosaurs.
I believe Ken Carpenter did use it. Was it actually in a paper
yeah.
or at a talk?
I think in a paper. Yeah.
It is in the scientific literature. Maybe not accepted, but...
I don't know, if people use it, then it's accepted. So, like, I don't know. I say informal term, but, like, maybe that means it's formal if it's actually in the peer-reviewed literature. More plant stuff. I'm not even bothering to show the camera anymore. I don't know. I'll find a good one. But I want to get this part done.
Any stuff that Matt and Mandy found over there, or did it get taken down?
I don't know.
I think most of it got cleared.
Yeah, drink some water, though.
Hydration is key.
Yeah.
Bennett, demolisher of strata.
That's my name. I feel like Dawn would approve of my methods here, going
Yeah.
layer by layer.
Nice. You are so not fired. Did he ever say that to you in the lab? Just joking, like, you are so fired.
No.
He does that all the time in the field. Mostly to Fisher and Ethan.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not ever around long enough to get messed with thoroughly.
Yeah.
Just like, what is this strange creature that wanders in for 2 days at a time?
He's always astonished that, like, wow, he drove all the way from Denver?
Yes!
Yeah. And, oh, Cosmological Kev says, the pages that you showed earlier of all the ceratopsians, what is the age difference between them, and where does the one that you have found sit within that list? Great question, Kev. Shoot, let me get that page again. So we'll start here. The earliest one would probably be Zuniceratops, which is, I think, 14.
A ceratopsoid.
Yeah, it's not a true ceratopsid,
It does not have the bifurcated root.
Yeah.
Ceratopsids.
And the teeth, yeah. And actually,
That's
maybe
is that from Santonian, or is that actually early Campanian?
I think it's Santonian.
Okay.
Yeah, New Mexico. 18. Yeah, Tyrannoceratops and Zuniceratops.
They're both non-ceratopsid ceratopsoids.
See? Ceratopsoidea right there. Ken is correct as usual. And then later on, you've got this other group that kind of springs off of them, the Protoceratopsids. And so that's Protoceratops right there, 2 species of it. Yeah, so these are the earliest guys on here, and they're from Santonian's going to be like 90 million years ago, something like that.
If I remember right, it's like 80. It's really short.
Yeah.
I want to say 87 to 83, something like that. If that sounds right. Like
I could. Oh shoot! I think the other one's in camp, or else I would show. Or here.
Actually, yeah, I have service. I guess I can.
Let's see.
Fact check on the spot.
Sure. Yeah, because I don't have the Utah dinosaurs sheet here, because we're not in Utah right now. But yeah, so our guy is. Where's Pentaceratops? Number 32. This guy, Pentaceratops, seems to be pretty similar to our critter, but ours is distinctly different. So ours is going to be a little bit more recent than Pentaceratops, I think. About 73 million years old. Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, we could clean this thing up in the lab and it might look different than how we expect just from having seen it in the field, so no promises. Yeah.
The San Antonian is from 86.3 to 83.6 million years ago.
Oh, nice. Okay, okay. It's more recent than I thought.
Was that Cosmoceratops on the top row on there?
I think so. Let's see. Right there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when that guy was first discovered,
Cosmo right here. Yeah?
I was a little kid, and I went to the Utah Natural History Museum.
Yeah.
And they had the prep lab completely open.
Oh, nice. So you got to go in and see the specimen?
Yeah, and they were working on it, and you could, you know, look at like what parts they had already taken out.
Yeah.
Like some of the diagnostic features. And I met this dude who I think did some of the first paleo art for Cosmoceratops.
Oh, not James Gurney.
No, Cliff someone.
Huh.
I don't remember.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cosmoceratops. Some people say it's got the most horns of any dinosaur if you count all of those things coming off of the frill as horns. But yeah, I've worked on that original specimen, or at least like
Really?
gone into collections to photograph it from every angle for my old crew chief who was doing his doctoral thesis on ceratopsids.
That's cool. Yeah, that's
Partly on ceratopsids.
one of my
His PhD
favorites.
took 10 years, so it's just like there was a lot of stuff in there. What were you saying?
I was just saying that's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah. That and Diabloceratops is the other really famous one at the Natural History Museum of Utah. And Don DeBlue discovered that one. So later in the summer chat, you'll meet Don DeBlue, discoverer of Diabloceratops right there. It's not a big animal. Like, I guess I just kind of... I had to rearrange all these to get them to fix in this space. But this one is really big. He's not actually very big. He's kind of a small critter in real life.
Never change.
Yeah.
Never change.
Aw.
I'll never change. I'll probably just get grumpier.
Oh, and Jim says no, from the Turonian. So the Zuni, I guess, is from the Turonian,
Oh.
92 million years ago. Nice. Thank you, Jim.
Actually, the Tyrannoceratops is probably...
Tyrannoceratops? Yeah.
Tyrannoceratops is probably from the Turonian, too.
Oh, maybe it is.
Yeah.
Shoot, that's probably... Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that guy's from Eastern Europe?
Yeah, is it
Kazakhstan or Kyrgyzstan? Or...
Uzbekistan?
Might be Uzbekistan, yeah.
None of those places are in Europe.
Yeah, sorry, I guess that's...
It's okay.
yeah.
It's where Hans Seuss likes to hang out when he does field work. Okay?
Yeah, shoot. My brains are a little fried today, everybody, if you can't tell.
Where's
But yeah, that would definitely be Western Asia.
Yeah, the earliest known ceratopsid is from the Campanian.
Ah.
But
Oh,
there's
right. That
there's
makes
a lot
sense.
of lack of preservation between the Cenomanian and
Yeah.
well, even before the Cenomanian, but that entire
Like Coniacian, I don't know if we have
Early,
like a
late-
single dinosaur fauna that's like well represented. Yeah.
early late Cretaceous is a big question mark, so we can't
Yeah.
even guess when ceratopsids showed up, just when we actually have evidence of them. So.
Oh, and how small? I mean, like maybe the size of a cow. Diabloceratops is not a particularly big critter, at least from the material that we have. I think there's 1 or 2 skulls that are known. I really wonder if it might be the same critter as, and I only have a vague suspicion about this, but like it's either Machairosaurus or Machairoceratops. Looks very similar, but I'm not sure if we have it well stratigraphically constrained. Oh, and Jim says Tyrannoceratops is from Uzbekistan. Yeah. But yeah.
Which, makes it even more interesting as far as like where did ceratopsians come from?
Yeah. Where do they come from? Where do they go?
How much
Where
is
did-
convergence?
Where do they come from?
Ah,
Horn-faced Joe? I do kind of wonder whether the dental battery thing is just like something that ornithischian dinosaurs were really good at, and so that's why you see it evolving again and again. Like, I want to. It seems like with convergence, the closer you are, like the more recently you shared a common ancestor,
the more likely you're shared, like spontaneously evolve similar traits.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, like
convergence just gets easier.
Me and Logan King's and other people's poster at SVP was about some teeth found in Appalachia during the Santonian, and it had it was so worn, but it had just like the hint of a bifurcated root.
Nice.
And you have ceratopsids in the latest restricting after supposedly the seaway regressed.
Right, right.
But the question is like, is this just a Leptoceratopsian that started to like convergently evolve? Is this something that somehow island hopped across the western interior seaway?
Yeah.
Which even that would push back ceratopsids, or is this a convergence and a Tyrannoceratops or something somehow came from Europe? So,
sure.
It's just some teeth, so we had no answer, but we could just guess.
Yeah, yeah.
What could be happening? So.
That is a really cool idea. Yeah. And Tyrannoceratops has double-rooted teeth, says Paleo Jim.
Ooh.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it is because of the battery, at least in ceratopsids, the tooth below it pushes up into the roots. If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Tell Logan about that. He knew about Tyrannoceratops, but not the double-rooted part.
Steely Dan wants to know, is there a name for those peg-like teeth that some sauropods have?
Teeth.
Yeah, teeth. We don't have like a special term for that. There's kind of like almost pencil-like teeth that diplodocids have.
Yeah, you don't really start naming teeth until animals have heterodonty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which would be mammalians.
I mean, we do have some dinosaurs that are claimed to have heterodonty in the sense that, like, tyrannosaurs, they're...
Oh, the delta-shaped teeth in the, in the premax, and then whereas the more slender. Yeah.
But it's like mammal people look at that and they go, that's not heterodonty, what are you talking about?
It's a steak knife! Just a really fat steak knife.
Yeah. And One Fun Panda wants to know, so did Protoceratops and Velociraptor hate each other? Maybe it was a lover's quarrel, the fighting dinosaurs, Opposites attract,
Doesn't everyone want to bite the arm of their lover?
With their giant hooked beak. But yeah, it's that is like direct evidence that Velociraptor probably preyed on Protoceratops, or maybe vice versa.
Kill Bill just with the Protoceratops.
Like siren sound.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh wow, we've been out here for a while. You've been out here a long time, but I've only been here like a week.
Oh, PaleoStream, how are you doing, Joshua? Good to see you. We've got paleo artist Joshua Knupe in chat. He wants to know, will you guys take back some buckets of sediment back to the lab for some screen washing? So this is mudstone here, so it's not really great for screen washing at all. So not really from this site, but from Turtle Hill, there are a few layers that... It's not going to be great for screen washing, but somebody can at least pick through the layers to try and find some stuff in there. So that is something that we're definitely considering. But yeah, we're also just going to have so much matrix from this site, from various jackets, that like if we need to have like a pollen person look through it or something like that, there will be plenty of matrix to look through for sure. Yeah. And then we got a question, what is screen washing? So it's kind of, hopefully a little bit self-explanatory. I guess it's not. But you've got a big box made of wood, and then on the underside there's just a mesh screen. And so you put matrix in there, hopefully with fossils inside too. And then you bring it out to like a lake or something, and you kind of sluice it back and forth like this. And in theory, the matrix kind of sifts down through the mesh, and then just leaves larger particles there for you to find, hopefully just fossils. But in practice, it's, you know, there's a lot of other crud that gets stuck in there too. I've done a lot of screen washing in my day up in the Hell Creek, looking for mammals and stuff with Greg Wilson's crew, and it's, yeah.
If they're familiar with stereotypic, like, gold hunting.
Yeah, like panning for gold, kind of, yeah.
I don't know how universal that is in culture anymore.
I wonder,
for
yeah.
me, growing up with the Western thing,
yeah.
It was.
Me in California, too. 4th grade, you're learning, or 3rd grade? I forget. Anyway, in school in California, you learn all about the gold rush and all that. I learned a lot of stuff that actually wasn't true about the gold rush in school.
Like
what? Let's see. Well, they just left out a lot of stuff about, like, a lot of the racism back then and that kind of thing.
Black cowboys existing.
Stuff like that, yeah, yeah. And then also,
promising tribes things and then screwing them over.
Yeah. But there was a lot too.
America did that?
We would never. No, but there was some, like, actually factually inaccurate things that were in some of the textbooks about, oh shoot. I think it was about, like, the California flag and the story behind it, where there was an idea that someone ordered a flag to be made and they were going to put a pear on it, and then that got, like, messed up, and so they accidentally did a bear. I don't think that's true.
That would be hilarious.
Who wants a pear as their...
You know, there are a lot of lousy flags. Wyoming actually has a pretty good state flag.
Is that the buffalo?
Yeah, yeah.
Was the state ran by partridges, or what?
I mean, the bear looks cool, but it's also really sad because those are extinct now.
Oh, yeah.
California grizzlies they were hunted to extinction in like the 20s.
Last Coloradan grizzly died in the 70s. It randomly attacked someone. It was like a really, really old sow that was just desperately hungry, and yeah.
Shoot.
Does the flag say, does it say Republic of California?
This is California Republic, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I would call it a republic.
I mean, if Texas can call itself a nation, California can call itself a republic.
It briefly was, I think.
Wasn't the whole point of the Civil War that they can't?
Yeah. But,
you can still be a republic within another republic, so California is solely a republic.
well, it's no longer considered a republic, I don't think. I think it's just a relic on the flag. But it was from that time, I think, when California like declared independence from Mexico, but had not yet been annexed by the United States.
Makes sense.
I don't know if that was before or after the Mexican-American War, but yeah. But yeah.
Bless you.
Utah just got a new state flag.
Yeah, with the beehive on it.
Yeah.
That is a big
There's
improvement.
a beehive on the flag?
Well, we always had a beehive, but now it looks like the Russian flag with a beehive. And mountains.
Yeah. No, it's definitely an improvement, yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
So many states just have like the kind of boring navy blue rectangle with like
The state
way
seal.
too detail-y stuff in the middle.
Yeah.
And you gotta look closely to even tell what state it is.
Yeah.
Is that a dig at Pennsylvania?
Probably.
I mean, now it is. He didn't know.
Pennsylvania, Montana, Idaho, almost Wyoming, but Wyoming has the bison on it, which is
And
really cool.
naked lady, right? Or is that just the seal? No, that's the seal
Is
on
that
the
Pennsylvania or New York?
flag. It's a naked lady?
Yeah.
No, it's Wyoming too on the seal. In the
Not Pennsylvania.
No?
It's on the
I don't-
seal
I
in
don't
the
think
middle of
New
the
York
flag.
Either.
What's that?
I don't think New York either.
I want to say New York has like a scantily clad woman, like a Greek goddess or something, and she's like standing over a guy that she killed.
On the flag?
Yeah,
That sort of rings a bell.
doesn't it? Let me look it up real quick because we got internet here.
Does the Mississippi flag still have the Confederate flag on it?
I mean, doesn't the Georgia one still have the X at least?
Well, the Alabama flag is just an X.
Yeah, yeah.
New York state flag. Which one am I thinking of? with the lady standing over the dead guy.
Rhode Island, maybe?
It might be Rhode Island or Delaware.
Delaware was pretty
one of those
boring if I
northeastern
remember
ones.
correctly. Might be Vermont though. Vermont's a little. They have some.
It's not Rhode Island. They've got an anchor.
Probably New Hampshire with Live Free or Die.
Live free and die.
Yeah, Live Free and Die.
Yeah, you're not my real dad, New Hampshire. You can't tell me what to do. I'll live free and die. Shoot, what flag was that? Somebody in chat will know. Oh, it's Virginia.
Oh.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Did you say that makes sense?
Yeah. And Maximum Darnger says, at least in Ohio we have a funny shape. That actually is really cool. The Ohio flag is iconic.
What is the Ohio flag?
It's like triangular, and then it's got like another triangle taken out of the tip. So it's like, and then there's like that big circle for the O in Ohio,
Yeah,
I
it's
assume.
not- it's
I've
not
never seen this.
rectangular.
You've never seen it? Let me show you.
Is it new?
No, it's for like.
Ohio state flag.
Ohio. We
Yeah,
don't
check that out.
follow the rules.
Whoa!
Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I wonder if I have my California Smilodon one in here. Do I have my, let's see, download pictures, documents? I don't know if I have it on my phone.
Oh, like a California flag, but a smile down.
Yeah, yeah, and it says California Prehistoric instead of California Republic.
That's awesome.
Art portfolio, I think it's in here. Let's see. Do I not have it? Shoot, maybe I don't. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, this is before I changed it to prehistoric, but yeah. Some Smilodon with the...
Nice.
Yeah,
that's
I did
pretty
that years and years ago.
Yeah,
It almost looks like the
There we go.
the Rome one with Romulus and Remus under the.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I tried to make it look as much like the grizzly as possible, so you'd have to like squint and go, wait, what?
Yeah.
But that's our state fossil in California is Smilodon fatalis.
Which is a good name.
It is, yeah, yeah. Smilodon femme fatalis.
Is Claire doing anything fun? Oh, Claire and Golganek doing anything fun for their birthdays?
Oh, great question. Yeah, Claire and Golganek, any exciting birthday plans?
Not to put them on the spot.
Yeah. I guess they're watching the stream, so maybe not.
Wow.
This is very exciting!
Maybe your stream is the fun birthday.
Claire and Golganek, this
just-
mudstone is for you.
I was trying to be self-deprecating and it just came across as insulting. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah. And found the Smilodon flag on Reddit. Hang on. Oh yeah, somebody else did the same thing. I think it was
You've been scooped!
there's like a bunch of people who've independently had this idea. But the George C. Page Museum at La Brea, they have that on their merch. Fisher has that shirt. I don't think it's as good as mine, but you know, it's cool.
I need to get down there.
Yeah, I did a stream from there, but it was on a day when the museum was closed, so I just walked around like the tar pit area, and we looked at
That's cool.
some of the stuff there. But yeah, I was going to be in LA for 2 days, and one of those days, both the George Page Museum and the LA County Museum were going to be closed on a Monday, so I had to make a difficult choice, like which one do I actually want to go to, and made the right choice, but still regret not being able to see the inside of that museum.
Lived in Southern California for 8 years and I never went to La Brea.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I just wasn't at the front of my brain at the time.
Yeah.
So.
I've
Look
got
at this
cousins who
little,
live in San
whatever that
Diego.
is. It's just thick.
Yeah. Maybe a piece of palm frond or something.
Yeah.
Let me show chat. Maybe see if I can chip that piece off too, so it... There we go. That's contiguous. Yeah. Right there, what Ken got. Some palm frond, but this is not, you know, it's just carbonized right here, so like you rub it like that and it's gone.
Still not scientifically significant, but
Yeah.
after finding nothing for a while, it is.
Yeah,
it
it's
is
nice to like just note these things and... Oh, that's cool. What were you saying, Bennett? We interrupted you.
Oh, I was just saying, I've got cousins who live down in San Diego, and I've still never been down there.
Yeah, I'm going for TwitchCon this year in September, and hopefully I can visit the Nat and some other museums down in SoCal as well.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Go see No Liver.
What's that?
Go see No Liver.
Yeah, there you go, yeah. If I've got time, it'd be really cool to hang out with Nick, but it's going to be jam-packed that week. Yeah. And mysterious hooded figure, what was your question? I'm sorry, I missed it. The chat goes by quickly here.
I didn't realize it was in there, and I went to throw a rock, and it just went right in.
Sorry, I left it there.
Okay, you can't. I just didn't realize, and it was
It's counterproductive.
funny.
Let's see, One Fun Panda says, yay, TwitchCon, I'll be there. Cool, yeah, well, if you come to the, well, hopefully they accept it this year. I put in a proposal for another science panel this year at TwitchCon, so hopefully they say yes, and that would be really cool to be able to talk about scientists doing science on Twitch, like we did last year. So yeah, I actually need to check my email. Let me look at that real quick, see if I've gotten a response. Let's see.
Plants, and more plants.
That's some beautiful mudstone right there.
Oh, shoot, from June 6th.
What?
Let's see. Oh, I guess we're not going to have it this year.
Oh.
Submission has been added to our wait list. I guess they just have a lot of other things this year. Well, shoot, that's a little disappointing. But, yeah, we'll see. We will see. Yeah, they said they'd reach out by the 19th if a space opened up, and it doesn't look like that happens. So. Shoot. Well, that's disappointing. Well, so that's an important email. I should have gotten a notification on my phone about that, and I did not. Well, drat. That's lousy. Well, I might not be going to TwitchCon this year. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Shoot, that's disappointing. And let's see. Mysterious hooded figure wanted to know, is there a particular reason for dinosaur fossils being so abundant in North America compared to other regions on Earth? Now, dinosaurs are from all 7 continents. They've been found in Australia, Antarctica, even New Zealand now. Yeah, it's really more of an issue of like having paleontologists in those areas and then having the budget to be able to like actually do work in those places. And North America, we've got a lot of paleontologists, especially dinosaur paleontologists. So we've got a lot of dinosaurs being found and worked on and published on in North America.
We also have a lot of badlands with the rocks from the Ray Age exposed.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, a beautiful kind of desert country like this. You get dinosaurs from other places in the world, like England, for example. But England is not really a desert country. So you don't have a lot of like beautiful exposed rock right there on the surface in most places. And where you do, like the cliffs of Dover, those are marine strata. So there might be a few bits of dinosaur from there, but yeah, that's, you know, dinosaurs are land animals by and large. So yeah, you don't really expect to find them in that sort of environment. Yeah. And Libercon says Victorians found a few. Oh yeah, I don't mean to denigrate, you know, UK dinosaur science. That's where, you know, dinosaur science got its start, was in England back in the 1820s. And there have been some dinosaurs found in England since then, like baryonyx in the 1980s. I think it was 1981, I want to say. Or was it 83 baryonyx was discovered? I forget. It was published in 83. Yeah, but you don't have a lot of like exposed bedrock in like a kind of deserty environment in order to be able to find those bones. That's, you know, your archetypical dinosaur bearing rocks are in kind of this sort of topography, this sort of landscape. Yeah. And Bullstock says, where's the T-Rex? North of here, in younger rocks.
Several million years older.
Yeah. So we're digging in the Late Cretaceous Almond Formation. Rock's about 73 million years old. And as near as we can tell, T-Rex first appears around 68 million years ago, something like that. Yeah, and you get them, I guess you get some of them south of here. There's been Tyrannosaurus reported from the Northhorn Formation of northern Utah.
And I mean, Denver's south of here. There are dinosaurs from the Denver Formation.
Mm-hmm.
And there is there one in New Mexico, or is that purely a macro, whatever?
It's been reported, Tyrannosaurus has been reported from New Mexico, but I'm not sure if... Yeah, you have Tyrannosaurus macraensis, the new one that was just described, which may be the ancestor of T-Rex, potentially. But they're not totally sure on the date for that, so that kind of complicates things. Yeah.
Now, if you're asking about Tyrannosaurids, we haven't found one yet, but there should be one
There have been
somewhere.
ones reported from the Almond Formation, but in fact, Barnum Brown dug one up in 1937, apparently, and it's been lost. Nobody knows where it is. So,
but that's a relative, an earlier relative. Right?
Yeah.
Live in the early 1900s.
It's fairly common, actually. There are lots of things that have gone missing over the years.
Bennett, have you heard of bureaucracy?
Touché.
Yeah. And DM Wing says China has been pretty productive recently, has it? That's a huge understatement. Yeah. China is like a new hotbed of dinosaur paleontology. They're doing some amazing things there, finding really cool stuff. And that science has been really well funded by the Chinese government in a way that really makes me jealous as an American, honestly.
And they have a lot of, Conservatwagenschaften, basically a large number of fossils with amazing special preservation due to, both being lacustrine and ash,
volcanic ash. It's the winning combination for soft tissue feathers and stuff like that.
We have stuff like that, but nothing really from the Mesozoic. It's all Paleozoic or Cenozoic for the most part, isn't it?
Yep. So not too far from here in the Green River Formation, you get like beautifully preserved fishes and turtles and bats that still have like the skin membrane and stuff fossilized. But we don't really have anything like that in North America from the age of the dinosaurs that I'm aware of.
We do have concentrates, like something like Hell Creek, but that's not a special preservation. That's just a lot of animals in one area. So.
Yeah.
Germans.
But we do have some crew members who are out prospecting today, and they could be discovering an almond formation tyrannosaur as we speak. You know, I'm excited to hear what they found when we get back to camp. Yeah, which we should probably wrap up in probably about half an hour, I imagine.
Oh, it's like 5:30.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't know when they'll be getting back, but
We also might start getting some clouds that may be looking a little more rainy.
yeah, we
There'll
could get some
still be
rain
a
if
way
that
out.
turns into something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Rincano says, is radioactivity in the soil a problem with excavating sometimes? Not here, but in parts of Utah, it definitely can be. And then like the Yellow Cat uranium area near Moab, Utah, there have been dinosaur fossils found like in the process of mining for uranium. And some of those fossils are just like too hot to touch. It's like, just don't even go near them. But it's pretty rare as far as like dinosaur-bearing rocks are concerned to find stuff that's radioactive.
Have they taken those bones and just like to use them for uranium?
Yeah. So there have probably been like United States aircraft carriers and nuclear submarines that are like partially powered by little chunks of dinosaur bone.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That
Jim can tell you all about that, yeah.
That perfect Utah Raptors skull that's in running the USS
Abraham Lincoln or...
Nimitz or something.
Yeah. Yeah, Nimitz class carrier. I've been on the USS Abraham Lincoln, which is a Nimitz class carrier before, to visit it one time. It was neat. Yeah.
Where is it? Or where was it when you were on it?
What's that?
Where was it when you were on it?
San Francisco. Yeah.
Was it Fleet Week or is it
Yeah.
something that's staged? Okay.
When I was a kid, my grandpa took me there. Yeah. He always tells the story. I did not like the loud sirens that went off with the like flight deck elevator. I had sensitive ears as a kid. But yeah. Oh, and Clairber. So yeah, it's very rare that a dinosaur fossil will be radioactive, but it does happen, especially in like the Morrison Formation or the Cedar Mountain Formation of Utah. But that's a result of like there being uranium in the groundwater at the time, as these fossils were being, fossilized.
But yeah, I don't know where that came from, but no, not every fossil is radioactive.
No, definitely not.
I think that's where Claire was going with that, because there have been some people that have thought that.
And yeah, I think she was pushing back against that
Yeah.
idea. Yeah, I think you're right. So thank you, Claire. Yeah.
I took out this entire
How dare you?
not on purpose. I swear it was an accident.
Is this burlap here for a reason? Is it protecting that turtle or something?
I don't know
I
what
think
that
the
is.
turtle's long gone.
Okay.
I don't know. I do not know what that is.
They threw the turtle out.
When did
during,
they do
like,
that?
Day 2 of Overbrood.
Excellent, okay.
No, I was there, and we just moved a baggie. We didn't do anything else with it. So
Well, yeah, this is not. It's just under this
okay,
rock,
go,
so
go.
yeah.
Oh, well, the turtle would have been like here, I think.
I think you're right.
There,
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
either
we're
way, it would have been. It's long
I'm
gone.
sure they got it.
Pretty
I wasn't here that
they
day.
got it. I think Ethan grabbed it at some point. Or maybe not.
I was probably running around somewhere.
Oh, One Fun Panda wants to know: did dinosaurs get cancer? The answer is yes. This was published a few years ago. There was a Centrosaurus fibula from a bone bed up in Alberta, Canada, and it's just got this crazy growth, like along the mid-shaft part of it. It's just wild. So this dinosaur is walking around with this huge bone tumor in its shin, and that's probably not what killed it, too. Because it's from this big bone bed that we think may have been like a mass drowning event with like a bunch of them trying to cross a river during flood or something. So it's just there with like hundreds of other Centrosaurus. So it's crazy to think that like this animal, is just walking around with a gigantic cancerous growth on its leg, and makes me think that a lot of dinosaurs would have been very, very resilient animals. Isn't that a thing in Jurassic Park in the novel? With the characters discussing how, like, the dinosaurs are just remarkably sturdy creatures.
Yeah, I do recall that.
Yeah. And they had, like, it was like anti-tank rockets or something like that they had as, like, a security measure. You know how, like, zoos will, this is dark, but zoos will often have, like, high-powered rifles just in case, like, a dangerous animal gets loose. Yeah.
Rest in peace, man.
Yeah. Before his time. And Paleontologist VA says, Danny, not true. Danny and crew, we got Triassic cockroaches that are just as nice as some of the Chinese stuff. Really? Interesting. Shoot, I guess like dinosaur bearing stuff. I wonder if this is... Yeah, I don't know. I guess I haven't heard about that. Interesting. I guess not true that like we don't have Conservat Lagerstätte in the US, yeah. From the Mesozoic. But yeah.
Are you making fun of my...
No, I'm missing.
Okay.
I might as well take some of this down before I move on to that, I guess. If we've just got a little while left. Sorry, did I get you with dust? I'm sorry, Ken.
I just ignore the responses. So.
Okay. I try and be conscientious.
Pretty sure I've been throwing dust in Katey's face all day. So.
Yeah. A few times, but so has the wind, so it's not really...
That is very true.
It's not really, like, entirely your fault. You're just kind of cleaning up your area.
Sebastian VPA wants to know, why did the Chinese put so much effort into dinosaur science? Because I think they realize on some level that, like, not on some level, they absolutely realize and are exploiting the fact that dinosaur science gets kids interested in science and produces more scientists.
They also take pride in their national heritage.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, it's really cool. Did I tell you about that picture recently with Xi Jinping meeting with the president of France, Macron?
Oh, yeah. No.
And he's like, so they're like presenting gifts back and forth. And so the Chinese delegation gives as a gift this beautiful fleshed out reconstruction of Anchiornis.
Oh, wow.
It's just gorgeous. And it's like, you know, here's this beautiful thing from China, have this as a gift. And it's like super cool that like the president of China is aware of the fossil heritage of that country and is like super proud of it. That's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, it is a prestige thing, Dr. Morbius. It is. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And Volcano Doc says, and their government gives scientists money for research. Yes. Oh man, I wish we had 1/10 of that. You know, here it's. Yeah.
Oh, hey Ken, were you looking for plants? Because I
Plants?
found some plants.
Yes!
There.
Wow, that is a dense amount of plants.
Oh yeah, Plant City. I think it's actually a place in Florida.
Plant party.
Really?
Plant City, yeah.
Does it have a lot of plants or a lot of nuclear power plants?
It might be both. I don't know. Yeah, all that plant material there. Nice.
Plains Florida man with radiation.
Now there's a Turkey Point nuclear reactor or nuclear facility or whatever in Florida. There's all these nesting American crocodiles. And a friend of mine actually got to work on those, looking at their nests and stuff.
Are they like super crocs with radiation?
No, they just like the warm water that comes out of the cooling tower. Manatees hang out there too. Yeah?
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, they love it. And also it's like a high security area, and so like nobody's gonna go in and mess with those crocs. So yeah. Yeah. Blobrana says with fossil science, it's been likened to the space race prestige. In a way, yeah, except probably far less funding goes into fossil science than space race stuff. But yeah.
Do you think there's quite the level of competition as there was with space race?
Definitely not. No, I wish.
But
for in terms of fossil science, like, man, that would be cool.
there's a lot of history you can look into as far as like the initial expedition with Andrews and how it got ended because somebody decided to sell an egg and China saw that as evidence of colonialism. So
yeah.
Interesting.
It was kind of a boneheaded move to do that.
Yeah.
But they weren't even like
was it
trying
the
to really raise a
AMH
whole.
that
Yeah,
sold
AMH
it?
did, yeah. Yeah, it sold for $5,000, which in 1925, I think, was a it's a good chunk of change. Yeah, but it's like this wasn't done for profit; it was done as a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
And yeah, I forget where that egg ended up. It was like somewhere in Indiana or something like that. And I wonder if it's been repatriated because Mongolia's been really good recently about really taking care of their fossil heritage and making sure that if stuff gets smuggled out, it gets repatriated. And that's what happened with Nicolas Cage's Tarbosaurus skull that he purchased. It was seized by the Department of Homeland Security and brought back to Mongolia.
Yeah, there was a big sting in Wyoming recently. One of the specimens that Mongolia actually didn't want back ended up at the Tate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think it was a Psittacosaur, if I remember right.
It was what?
A Psittacosaur, if I remember right.
Interesting.
But Mongolia did get a lot back. There was somebody that was selling stolen
Uh-huh.
fossils in the state. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And DM Wing says it was a Mongolian national treasure that Tarbosaurus. Yeah, I mean it's really cool when countries see their fossil heritage as being something really important that needs to be protected and studied. When it becomes like a point of national pride, I think that's really neat.
Did I already tell you about the paleo professors who used to be at U of A had this collection of stuff from Pakistan, and they still haven't asked for it back, and he's just like counting his days. He's like, I know these are going back sometime, so I'm trying to get them all archived as soon as possible.
That's interesting. Is it any like whale stuff or?
No, it's a bunch of like cervids, pigs.
Neat.
There's some bovids. What else was in there? A bunch of hyenas.
Oh.
Yeah. There was some. There's some reptiles like turtles. Turtles.
Any crocs?
No crocs.
Interesting. I've always kind of wondered if like I've never looked into this, but could the evolution of whales be like in that region of the world be a result of like there just not being crocodiles there at that time?
That could be.
But I don't know. I wonder. I want to say that I looked into this at some point, and it's like, oh yeah, of course there's crocs there. What are you saying, man? But I don't know. That would be just like a really simple, easy answer. Is like, oh, mammals evolved in like a crocodile-like shape that became whales because there just were no crocs there. But crocodilians are pretty cosmopolitan in the Paleogene.
I mean, crocodilians and hippos co-occurred probably at least hippos' entire evolutionary ancestry. So that
Good
doesn't.
point. Although they're herbivores, so.
Well, but just because they're crocodilians doesn't mean that there couldn't be.
And I should really say crocodilomorphs because
yeah.
we're not talking about like crown group crocs, but yeah. Oh, okay. Rahab Mahakala remembers this. Says you looked into it on stream, and apparently there were some crocs there. Okay, there we go. Vague recollection of this. Sebastian VPA says, which area has the greatest potential for new dinosaur discoveries? Right here. This particular hole in the ground. We've got what we think is a new ceratopsid from this quarry. And this whole area in Wyoming, not this whole area, but like a few select spots in this area. We've got pretty much every indication that like any dinosaur that we find here will be new. So this is a great spot for that, and there's lots of other places around the world as well. There's other places here in Wyoming where just nobody's named any dinosaurs from here yet. Just like kind of big gaps in our knowledge. Yeah.
Coal.
Found some coal?
Oh, just a little bit.
Nice.
Oh, Daddy.
Ooh. Oh yeah, look at that. Here, let me show the camera.
If you want any more, there's more.
There you go, chat. Yeah, coal, which is carbonized, compressed plant material. And it looks like coal and not charcoal. It's shinier, but yeah. Nice. Volcano Duck says, "Woot, let's light it on fire." Somebody did that, and I think it was supposed to have smelled terrible.
Really?
Like they brought it back to camp and threw it on the fire, and like everybody fled because it smelled so bad.
Here or somewhere
Yeah.
else?
I think it was like 2 years ago.
Mm.
But if you want to try it, you totally can. And not anthracite coal, Kodali. This will be like bituminous or maybe sub-bituminous coal. I think Jim was saying that. It's just not very high quality. Or it's non-metamorphosed, maybe? Yeah. And Volcano Duck says, in set class, we actually burned different coal types to try and estimate carbon content. Interesting. Oh, that's cool. Huh. Oh, and you said shiny, lol, says Kodali. Yeah, so that's just how I usually distinguish coal from charcoal. Because sometimes you do get charcoal in... we'd get a lot of it in the Hell Creek and in the Judith. You know, it's like evidence of ancient forest fires. But it tends to be a lot less... kind of less shiny and more, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Like a charcoal brick?
Like a charcoal brick, yeah.
Subdued.
Yeah. Well, Kidrox's higher degree of metamorphism equals higher carbon count equals a more pure fuel. That makes sense. Yeah. Nice. But yeah. Oh, I feel myself starting to slow down.
Yep.
Let me not use the brush because I'm just getting this immediately in everyone's eyeballs.
Our eyeballs can take it, Danny.
But they shouldn't have to.
With this one, they've been taking it all day. Yeah, 706 people watching right now. This is awesome. Let me know if you got any questions, everybody, before we wrap up. We've got like 15 minutes left to find a birthday bone for you, Katey.
I know.
Oh, you're good.
Oh. And Leo Costa says, "What are you doing?" That's a question. We're digging dinosaurs here, or trying to at least. Haven't found any bones in a couple days, but we've had some big ceratopsid bones come out of this quarry. I think we got like 11 different jackets this year. So, yeah, good number of really decent bones. And we're just hoping to find more of this critter. Oh, and Axeman wants to know, how wide a time span might you cover by digging through the layers that you're working on at these sites? That's a great question. It's tough to say. We could be looking at just a few years in here. It could be several hundred years, several thousand years. It all depends on like the rate of deposition. Yeah, but at least several years, I'll say that. And I got you, Paleontologist VA. I think I understood what you were saying, yeah. And have Trent and Logan found anything on their prospecting? Hershey Kisses wants to know. Yes, a bunch of stuff. Holy cow, how many different sites did they have yesterday? It was like...
It's into the teens, I believe, by now.
I think in the last couple of days, one of the days they found like 7 in one day.
Nice. So yeah, they've definitely found some good stuff. And it might be stuff that we... I know Ethan was going out there today to look at some of these sites and kind of evaluate them and see which ones might be worth digging for next year. So we've got some exciting stuff coming out. They've been great at finding new things. Logan and Trent.
Our mountain men.
Yeah. And One Fun Panda says, how long does it take to get the fossil out of the rock? It depends how big it is, how tough the rock is, how big your crew is, how much sleep everyone's had, what the weather's like, you know. What kind of music you're playing in the quarry? Is it like slow and plodding like a funeral dirge, or is it like, you know, fast-paced music, makes you work faster? Yeah. And Axeman says, but not millions of years that would be evolutionarily significant? Not for this particular quarry. It's not going to be millions of years represented in here, but it could be hundreds or thousands of years. Potentially even hundreds of thousands, but I don't know. It's hard to say because you might have like an unconformity right in the middle of the quarry where like you just had a time when there wasn't deposition going on for a long time, and so it's just like missing time in there. It happens.
Changed, there was lake, then there wasn't lake, then the lake came back.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, like that Donovan song. You know, first there is a mountain, then there is no mountain, then there is. Does anybody know what I'm talking about, Chet?
I've never heard that song.
No, it's an old one.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
First there is a mountain, then there is no mountain.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Quantum physics.
No, geology. Yeah.
Quantum
Oh, I guess.
geology.
Yeah. It would be a very small mountain.
Schrodinger's mountain.
If it were quantum physics. Yeah. Yeah. And Liberacon says, happy 21st birthday, Katie. Is that someone you know, perhaps?
Congrats.
No. It's actually my 20th birthday today.
Wow.
Not 21st, but thank you.
And Mysterious Hooded Figure says, is it true that dinosaurs had feathers? As opposed to them being more like reptiles that we know today. So a lot of dinosaurs did have feathers, yeah. And here, let me grab my phylogeny again, I'll show you. It's right here. Phylogenetic tree. Yeah, so dinosaurs are from here onward. Birds are living dinosaurs. Birds obviously have feathers. But feathers first evolved in earlier dinosaurs, we think. And so we've got feathers from this group, the theropods. We think we have feathers from the sauropods over here too, particularly the like basal ornithischians or even ornithopods. So like two opposite sides of the dinosaur family tree we have feathers, which suggests that maybe the earliest dinosaur ancestor already had feathers. And then you've got pterosaurs over here too. They've got these weird filamentous structures that we call pycnofibers, but they might actually be like ancestral filamentous kind of hair-like feathers. So it could be that feathers evolved down here.
Animals like integrity.
And that like, you know, pterosaurs inherited this and then dinosaurs inherited that too. We don't know yet. Did feathers evolve here? Did they evolve independently over here? Did they evolve here at the dinosaur ancestor? Or was it prior to that down here? We don't really know yet. It's kind of up for debate currently. But there definitely have been, there's something like 60 or 70 different dinosaur species that we know had feathers at this point. Quite a few. But we're still kind of figuring out exactly what's going on there, when feathers first evolved. Yeah. Or maybe crocodiliforms had feathers at some point, says Charlie's Dragon. I mean, that's not impossible. Yeah.
The only problem with the extended phylogenetic bracket is that both birds and crocodiles are so
Weird compared to
Yeah.
dinosaurs, yeah.
compared to what they used to be. That
Yeah. Well, that's how we know dinosaurs didn't have lips, because crocodiles don't have lips and birds don't have lips, so dinosaurs couldn't have.
yeah.
Parasocialophus. That's a great username, like parasocial, but Parasaurolophus. Brilliant. Could dinosaurs move their eyes, or did they keep their heads stable like chickens? I think a lot of birds can move their eyes in their heads, right? Yeah. Yeah, so we've got every reason to think that dinosaurs could move their eyeballs in their skulls, yeah.
I was gonna say chicken eyes still move around.
I think they
Yeah,
do.
they just do the birds just do the side thing because their skulls are so narrow. Yeah.
Yeah. And este de Barça se dice salud from Spain. Let's go. Bienvenidos a Paleontologizing. Bienvenidos a Wyoming. It's good to have you here. Welcome.
Where are we supposed to go?
Ken's like, it sounds delicious. I'll have some of that. Yeah. But Bennett's Spanish, I'm sure, is a lot better than mine.
What can I say?
And Cody Shibi says, so do we know that pterodactyls, what we call pterosaurs, really, do they definitely have bat-like wings as opposed to feathers? So we know that they had skin membranes. When I say they may have had feathers, I'm not talking about like flight feathers. I'm talking about very simple, like hair-like feathers. Just basically like fuzz over their bodies to keep them warm. We do know that they had some kind of fuzz, but we're not sure if it's a unique pterosaur thing or if it's the same basic structure that evolved into feathers in dinosaurs. We don't know yet. Yeah. We need more fossils and better fossils and more people looking at them and maybe new analyses to be developed to be able to actually tell what's going on and like the evolution of feathers.
Did I not just hit you with
Yeah.
Never mind then, I guess.
And Crimson Carnotaurus says, autocorrect on my phone sometimes goes to Parasaurolophus when I try to write parasocial. That was the same thing would definitely happen to me if I ever tried to type out parasocial. And Dunko's mom says, hello from Australia. Hello from Wyoming. How do you pick a spot to dig? Oh, well, we picked this spot because we found bones of this dinosaur here last year. So it's an easy way to put it. But do you want to answer this guy? Yeah, go for it.
You figure out what kind of dinosaurs you want to find, and you figure out what age that's from, and then you look at a geological map and see where those rocks are exposed, and then you walk around a lot and hope you find a little chunklet of bone.
A little chunklet? I like that.
Downhill from where it came out of, or maybe even where it came out of, and then assuming you have the rights to do so, you start to dig and look for where it came from. And Danny, you got the rest.
Yeah. So prospecting is what we call it when we're actually looking for new sites in a given field area. So yeah, you basically walk around, you stare at the ground, you look for, like Ken said, chunklets of bone, and you try and find the source. You follow them in. We've got a crew that's out there doing that right now, prospecting, and they've been finding new sites for the past few days, and it's been really cool. I think a lot of folks kind of have this general assumption that, like, we as paleontologists just find a place to dig and just kind of dig in at random and hope we find bone. You never really find anything that way. You let erosion do the first part of the digging for you. You look for stuff that's already exposed on the surface. And that way you know there's bone there, and you dig in, and hopefully you find an associated skeleton. Which is what we found here. Although it's been dry for the past few days, we're really hoping we find something soon. Because we really want more of this animal. Yeah. Redzel says, thanks a lot, erosion. I mean, you could say that sarcastically or earnestly.
Thank you, erosion.
Erosion is both the greatest friend and greatest enemy of the paleontologist. Sometimes you'll find a site where just like, a little bit of the dinosaur is exposed, and maybe a little bit exploded on the surface, but you dig in and the rest of the skeleton is all there. And sometimes you happen across just a hillside that's just littered with bone. It's just all blown up, and there's like nothing under the surface that's worth collecting.
Sometimes you're 100,000 years too late.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, and then sometimes you like prospect an area and you don't find anything. You come back a few years later and there's bone all over the place. So, yeah, you know, erosion is a tricky thing. Yeah, the erosion giveth and the erosion taketh away. There you go, Lenina, exactly.
Our Lady Erosion.
Yes. Yeah. And Volcano Doc says you have to do months of preparatory work just to figure out the right place you need to be when headed to the field. Oftentimes, yeah. Or sometimes you just like stop the vehicle on a road trip because you're like, those Badlands look tasty. Like, let's go take a look. I've done that before.
Tasty.
Yeah. Nazun says, are you expecting to find bones from the same individual or just other specimens of the same species? So in this case, we think it's all from one critter, from one individual animal. And we think it's probably pretty close to a mature ceratopsid, if not fully mature. And it's disarticulated, so it all fell apart after death. Hopefully not prior to death. That would have been painful.
Yikes.
Yeah. But, you know, they were tyrannosaurs doing their thing here, so it's not impossible that a tyrannosaur had its carnivorous way with this poor ceratopsid.
I guess there wouldn't be a lot of protein in the frill compared to other.
Probably not, yeah.
Compared to other parts.
Although, have you seen? So my old crew chief, Denver Fowler, did he did some work on. The project was called How to Eat a Triceratops. So he was looking at all these different bite marks on Triceratops fossils from Montana, and he noticed some interesting patterns where, like, you would get Tyrannosaur tooth marks in the same places on the same bones. So he thinks that they're basically grabbing the head by the back of the frill and like tearing the head off in order to get to all the neck meat underneath. And on the occipital condyle, so like the ball and socket kind of joint, so that attaches the head to the neck, there'd be these delicate little scrapes that seem to be from the incisor teeth at the front of the Rex's mouth. So they're just like gingerly scraping off the last bits of flesh off of this, and it's like you can only do that if you've ripped the head off because there's that huge frill in the way.
I mean, that'd be some good leverage too. So
yeah, for sure. So I don't think he's published it yet, but it's it's there. My friend Nate Carroll did some illustrations of this for Denver's poster at SVP, and that's made its way around the internet. So you can find these really nice, very simple line drawings of like the process of a T-Rex eating a Triceratops, like grabbing it by the frill, ripping the head off, and then eating the neck muscles. Go Crimson Carnotaurus. Another pun. To eat an Alberta Venator curry eye, you should serve with rice and a side of poppadoms and naan bread. That's named after Phil Curry. Very prolific Canadian paleontologist. Man, I'll just talk a curry. I'm getting hungry.
You know, Indian food does sound really good.
It really does.
Yeah.
You gotta ask Ethan to make some.
Yeah. Oh man, nice like vegetable vindaloo or... Yeah. Oh man.
Why did you do this to me, Danny?
I'm sorry, Ken.
I mean, you've been out here far longer. I can't complain. So.
And I'm really excited to get Indian food back home in California. It's gonna be nice.
The first time I had Indian food was in Bay Area.
Really?
Yeah.
Me too.
Big road trip.
Where I grew up, though. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Yeah, the first time I ever had it was at a place called I think it was called like Viceroy Indian Cuisine in Berkeley, or Raj, and it's something like that, some like colonial sounding name, but it was really good. There's that lovely place across from the DNR too in Salt Lake.
Ooh. Oh, is that place open?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, like down the street?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in like an old hotel.
Yeah.
That place is great.
It's fantastic.
It always kind of looked closed every time I saw it, and just like
It always looks closed.
given
yeah.
the general nature, like the kind of neighborhood that's turned into, I always assumed it was closed. So.
No, it's well, it was open last summer at least.
Yeah.
I hope they're still open.
Abandoned hotel. So
Yeah.
Like.
But that place is good.
Yeah.
I might go there on
Some of the best
on my way home.
Some of the best Indian places are wonderful inside and look like you'll get food poisoning on the outside.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
So yeah, hotel would be great.
Yeah. And
Yeah, if you need Salt Lake food racks, I got you.
oh yeah,
Oh, I
Nice.
will need this.
I don't know a lot of places. I'm fond of the Taco Bell by the airport, but
There's a Costa Vida there now.
there's a what?
There's a Costa Vida there now.
Oh, I might have to
That's
check
like
that
one
out.
Step up.
Yeah. And when I'm on the road, I try and eat very cheaply and like I don't know, a lot of Taco Bell because it's easy to eat vegetarian there for real cheap.
This is true.
Yeah. Yeah. Adam Mike says, how much weight do you lose while you're out on these expeditions? Hopefully a bit. I don't know.
Depends on what you consume in turn.
Someone in the quarry said I looked husky earlier. I'm like, oh no. Need to eat less out here.
Sorry, Danny.
I think you look great, Danny.
Thank you, Bennett.
We could measure our brushes again.
Let's see. And Leo Costa says, with this pace, your small brushes and similar tools, 1 or 2 square meters must take several months, right? No. Thankfully, no. We're down in the bone layer right now, and so we're digging kind of slowly with hand tools. And also it's toward the end of the season, and we're all tired and dehydrated and loopy. But early in the summer, we were moving like multiple tons of rock per day with picks and shovels. But when you're down in the layers where you expect to find bone, hopefully, you got to work a lot more slowly. So the pace really changes depending on where you are stratigraphically.
Hey, Bennett, can you stand up and look and see how much water is in the scoop? I just had a wasp over here.
Oh, the bee scoop?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm sure it's still good and it's just cool enough that they're starting to move around, but I just wanted to check.
Oh yeah, there's still a bunch.
Thanks, man.
Oh, Niffler wants to know if Ken's going to be digging with us up in Utah.
Only on weekends, sadly, but yes.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing him. But he does have like an actual proper grown-up day job, so he's got to go do that during the week. Yeah. And DM Wing, thanks for being here. Appreciate you and your good questions and everything. And let's see. Volcano Duck says the post-field beers offset any daily exercise. Sometimes they can. You got to watch out for that. Yeah.
It may have been what I was hinting at when I said consuming.
Oh, that flew over my head.
Oh, no, I was trying to make
Yeah.
it subtle. So.
And Dunca's mom says, how long have you been doing this for, as in number of years? Have you discovered a lot? Yeah, this is I calculated it out. My 13th year of doing field work. So I've been digging fossils in the summer, every summer except 2020, since the year 2011. And sometimes that was like multiple months. I'd be out 2 or 3 or sometimes even 4 months. Well, actually, I don't know if I've ever actually done 4. But yeah, 3 months during the summer sometimes. And the way that Matt calculates it, that might be like multiple field seasons per year. If I'm working in the Judith and then the Hell Creek and then maybe the Frontier Formation. But yeah, I've been doing this a while. And I found some cool stuff. Yeah. And then Ken, this is your
Third, if you count the pay to digs and add a dinosaur journey.
Nice.
But
yeah.
I've been in Morrison, Almond, and
Cedar Mountain.
Cedar Mountain.
Yeah.
But if most of them were weekends, so probably done a month and a half of field work at this point over 3 years. So.
Nah, we'll say 3 years.
Yeah,
It sounds better that way.
it does.
Yeah. Yeah. Leo Costa says, has anyone told you you have a twin in Rip Wheeler from Yellowstone, aka Cole Hauser? No. I can add that to the list, though, I guess. I do have, like, a running list of, like, when there are new people that show up and they're like, oh, you look just like this person. So let me...
I was going to say, Danny is not a great consumer of media.
I'm really not.
Generally
Yeah.
a good thing.
Let's see, where is that list?
I consume lots of media, though.
Add that. Cole Hauser from Jellystone. Yeah. Oh, somebody did say Pedro Pascal one time.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. Not even Latino.
Pull up.
Someone said Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords one time. I forgot about that. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
for you?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, no, not Jermaine Clement, definitely not. But, yeah. Oh, my phone is doing things.
And did dinosaurs ever run from tornadoes? You know, the Mesozoic was a long time. Probably one fun panda. I bet you at least one dinosaur ran from a tornado at some point.
While riding a shark
Yeah, exactly.
with a bazooka.
Yeah. An American flag cape on its back.
Awesome, bro.
Now, there's a really nice illustration from like the 80s, maybe 90s, of like these two brachiosaurs running from this tornado.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that one?
I know what you're talking
Yeah, in black and white. Kind of an iconic image. I forget. I wish I knew. I don't think it was Doug Henderson, but it might have been.
There's a cartoon that's on both my mom's fridge and the wall of the prep lab at UGS.
Uh huh.
It's these two T-Rexes holding suitcases
Uh huh.
as the Ark sails away.
Oh yeah, and they're like, oh
"Wow,
shoot, was that today?
today?"
Yeah. There was I think it was a Far Side comic, where the caption was, the real reason dinosaurs went extinct, and there's all these dinosaurs just like skulking around smoking cigarettes, like looking shiftily from side to side. Lebrana says there are fossil footprints that show lots of dinosaurs running. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
There are even dinosaur footprints that show them possibly doing the kicking mating dance thing.
Yeah.
Johnson Farm or something.
Mhm.
St. George.
Dinosaur dance floor.
And there's also, is it from the same area where they might have like some swim traces?
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of those from around the world. Yeah. Yeah, maybe even have like diving dinosaurs too. Jim was saying. So like maybe a big Dilophosaurus-like theropod, basically like diving into the water and like, you know, almost like a cormorant or something, which would be really cool. And drink some more water.
Mm-hmm.
And oh shoot, it's 6:10 already.
Yeah.
You want to wrap up pretty soon, you think?
6:30? 6:15?
Yeah, we could do 6:30. How are you doing, Katey?
I'm tired.
Yeah.
It is your birthday.
It is my birthday.
Yeah.
You want me to call Fisher and see what their plan is?
Yeah. That'd be great, Ken. Thank you.
Yeah, and if
drink some water.
if I get no answer, I shall
Saunter on
do
over.
my normal journey over the hill.
Yeah. Also, I know Fisher wants to do like a 10-hour day at some point. I don't know when.
He's
he
not
wants
going
to
to
do
make
that.
Lauren and Matt do it, so
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can call and ask if any of them want to come back with us, and then maybe Ethan can extract Fisher later.
Dang, now I gotta get water. Y'all are both guzzling.
he said get water, and I was like, that's a good idea. Yeah.
So I'm going to go do my journey.
All right. Let's see.
Lenina, Claire, and all other mods, you're amazing.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Have a safe journey, Ken.
I shall return.
And Pepper Potts and 24 Raiders have joined us. Welcome, welcome to Paleontologizing.
Pepper Potts?
Who's that?
Tony Stark's wife.
From the Avengers.
Iron Man's wife.
Yeah.
Iron Man's wife.
Gwyneth Paltrow without the goop.
Oh, cool. Well, Gwyneth Paltrow without the goop. Welcome to Paleontologizing. What?
Nothing.
No, isn't that's her like brand name for
Yeah.
the?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
I had a teacher in high school who was like, she's such an evil genius.
She really kind of is.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, yeah. Anyway, welcome to Paleontologizing. It's good to have you here. We're trying to dig up a horned dinosaur here, but it's being very uncooperative. All of its bones are currently hiding. We got probably about a dozen good bones out of the site earlier in the summer, but for the last few days, nothing. So cross your fingers we find something soon. And thank you for the 1,000 bits, Quenderush. That's wonderful. Anyway, Pepper Potts, how was your stream? I hope it was really good. Welcome. Let me know if you've got any questions about dinosaurs, about fossil science, about natural history, about whatever, you know. It was a game of hide and seek 73 million years in the making. There you go, Charlie's Dragon. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it feels like.
Right now we're losing that game, but
Bad.
Undefeated.
And Tyrannosaurus Rad says, I fit right in here. Sounds like it. Welcome to Paleontologizing. Good to have you here. Yeah. Oh, and Pepper Pot says it was good playing Ark and taming and riding dinosaurs. Well, well, well. Sounds like you're in the right place right now, Pepper Pots. Welcome, welcome. Yeah. And Quenderush has got a classic question for us. Why are some places better than other places to find fossils? Well, we try to look where the fossils are, and that tends to help. That doesn't help you, I'm sorry. Yeah, in order to...
where the fossils are.
Yeah, if you're looking for dinosaur fossils, then you gotta look in rocks of the right age, from the age of the dinosaurs. If you look in rocks that are older than, like, 240 million years old, you're not gonna find any dinosaurs, because that's from before the dinosaurs had evolved. And then if you look in rocks that are too young, like 65 million years and younger, you're not gonna find any dinosaurs either. Maybe some birds, but no other dinosaurs. And that's because dinosaurs were extinct after that, except for birds. So timing is a big part of it, and then, yeah. If you want to be able to go out and find fossils of dinosaurs, you've got to look in places where you've got rocks of the right age and the right type, sedimentary rocks, hopefully from a terrestrial environment, because dinosaurs were land-living animals. And then you got to look where that rock is exposed on the surface. So in a place like, Wyoming out here, you don't have a whole lot of trees or Walmart parking lots or whatever else obscuring the rock. It's just like a lot of bare rock on the surface. That's an ideal place to find fossils. Does that make sense? Yeah, thanks for your question, and thank you for those bits. Really appreciate it. Yeah. And Bozocentric says, have you and the wasps declared a truce, or did they meet their final watery demise? Some of them definitely did, but...
As well as an enormous orange cricket.
Yeah, that poor Jerusalem cricket. Yeah. I guess was just like, probably never seen that much water in its whole life, and then never will again, unfortunately. Yeah. And Tyrannosaurus Rad says, mind-blowing that dinosaurs seem to be alive so long ago, but in the age of the Earth, just a tiny sliver that any form of life has existed. That's actually, so life on Earth, so the Earth formed about 4.54 billion years ago, 4.5 billion. there's been life on Earth for about 4 billion of those years, but it's mostly just been small single-celled stuff. It's only like within the last billion years that we've had like, you know, what I would say is cool multicellular life. No offense to anybody who studies microorganisms and, you know, microbial life, but yeah. But I don't know, I prefer my creatures multicellular, you know. I don't know of any unicellular dinosaurs, for instance. But yeah. But yeah, there's been life on Earth for a very, very long time, but dinosaurs are just a tiny sliver of that. So from, you know, over 4.5 billion years of life, or over 4 billion years of life on Earth, dinosaurs are just from 240 million years ago, give or take, to 66 million years ago. It's still a long time in absolute terms, like 170 plus million years. But yeah, when you compare that to the vast history of life on Earth, it is just a little sliver of it. Yeah. And wow, don't single cell shame. Sorry, biggest hobbit. What a great name, by the way. Yeah.
Sounds like something a single-celled organism would say.
Who is also the biggest hobbit. That's interesting.
The biggest hobbit.
A single
That's a
cell.
good username.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Should
Yeah.
I start clearing out some of this rubble in the middle?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'll dump this out first.
Thanks.
Yeah. Happy birthday. That's my present to you.
I'm getting lots of interesting bits of this plaster and burlap from Ken.
Ooh. You're living it up this year.
I know.
Have you ever received such gifts?
I can't say that I have. I don't think I've ever received a gift like this before.
That's cool. I've never had a birthday in the field.
I thought you were going to say I've never had it.
I've never had a birthday.
I've actually
Yeah.
never had a birthday.
I'm still less than a year old, you know? It's just maturing very quickly.
When's your birthday?
September 26th.
We just have to have a late field season.
There you go, yeah.
You could do that thing that Logan and Ethan were talking about, where they're like, yeah, we're going to come back out and look at all the sites we found.
I'd be down for that. Although I think, well, yeah, actually TwitchCon is supposed to be the same time, but I might not be going now that we're not doing the science panel, so we'll see. I probably will still go. But yeah.
Oh, hey, look. Do we have that?
Oh, the scraper thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Rubble mover?
Should be right there. We call that
thing is awesome.
the McLeod. Because apparently that was the name of the guy that invented it or something?
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah. So that's like originally designed as a firefighting tool, I
I
think.
was gonna say, what was it designed for
Yeah.
originally?
I think for like maybe creating like trenches and
that would
vegetation
make
to like
sense,
I
yeah,
figured
something like
out
that.
your way.
Thanks.
And Cody Shibi says no science panel? Boo. I mean, that's not my decision. I applied for it, and I guess the TwitchCon people said not this year, so. Yeah.
Would it be funny if I found a bone just scraping it?
It would be, yeah. It's a beautiful dennery with teeth in it.
Yeah.
You chat, we're
Dry like that.
You're just humble dirt farmers, you know?
Yep.
And Quenderush, Archaeopteryx was transitional for birds. We've got a bunch of those critters now too. A bunch of like what we call dino birds sometimes. So like things where it's really difficult to tell, like, is this just a very bird-like dinosaur or is it actually a bird at this point? Things like Anchiornis, which I think might be currently being reevaluated right now. Archaeopteryx might not be the first bird anymore because Anchiornis is a little bit older. And if it turns out to be a bird and not just a... shouldn't say just a troodontid, because they're very cool also. But, yeah. Yeah, the line between dinosaurs and birds gets real fuzzy. Or maybe feathery.
I told Nick I would find one.
Yeah. And Jim, I did get your email with the PDF of the Mancos report. Congrats on getting that done. Super exciting. Is that just a manuscript, like, pre-publication, or did it get published already? Either way, that'll be exciting. Yeah. And Blobrana says, how deep can you dig? You want to see? No.
All the way to the other side.
Yeah. Let's find some magma. No, we're allowed to dig basically as deep as we need to at this site, because we've got a full excavation permit. But, you know, we have neither the time, nor the people power, nor the inclination to dig a super, super deep hole. You know, we're not interested in, like, you know, tearing up this area any more than we have to in order to get this dinosaur out.
That seems good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I would have stopped like 4 shovels ago.
I'm a completionist. Are we moving towards cleaning up? Like,
I think so. So
Okay.
Ken's going to come back and report on how they're doing at the other site, and I'm guessing we'll probably wrap up pretty soon here. Yeah. Put my whisker. There we go.
No birthday bones.
What?
No birthday bones.
Next time.
Belated birthday bone tomorrow?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, for everyone who didn't, you know, tune in today, they won't even know it was your birthday. So we have to remind them.
Yeah, I might wrap up this stream pretty soon. It's coming up on 6:30. And Jim says, throwing a Mancos symposium and a field trip for GSA as a field review next spring. That's awesome, Jim. I might want to come to that. Yeah. And how much does geophysics become involved in what you do? I don't know, a bit sometimes. Yeah. We're often working at like a finer scale than, you know, like landscape geology, but
But it's still definitely going to affect like faulting and
yeah,
layering and all those processes and erosional processes
for sure.
are going to affect how the bones form and how they're exposed.
Yeah. If we had a geophysicist on the crew, then I think that would affect our work a lot more. But like none of us are really specialized in that particular area, so yeah. But I don't know, I could come up with a bunch of different ways that geophysics is relevant to field paleontology. But there's just so many other things to think about too. Yeah. And Stout says, do you have to fill in the holes that you have dug before you leave? We generally try to. So we'll, you know, when we finish up at this site in a few days, we'll close the site by filling in some of the areas that we've dug in so they don't just become like mud pits or whatever. Yeah, and we'll try and make the site look as natural as possible, you know, so it doesn't look like there's just a giant scar on the hill. And we absolutely make sure that we pick up all of our trash and everything else. And yeah, so we'll see. Hey, Ken. How are they doing over there?
Gonna start wrapping up around 6:30.
All right, cool. Well, neat. I will wrap up this stream then, because we got to clean up here. But, yeah, thank you, everybody, for being here today. Thank you for your your viewership, for your questions, for everything else. Let's find somebody to raid into real quick, so don't go away. We'll see who else is doing some science on Twitch currently. And we'll see if we can pay them a visit. So let's see here.
It's baby darkling season.
We're kind of sparse right now. But is today Thursday?
Yes.
All right, it's Thursday Birds Day. Let's go say hello to Hoot House Livestream and see some owls. Yeah, that'll be good.
That's cool.
Yeah. No, it's really neat. So they've got like an IR camera, so you can see in the nest box at night, and like see the parent owls bringing all these like food deliveries to the babies and
That's really
watching
cool.
them grow up. It's really neat.
There's
Yeah.
another one that's just like a view of somebody's hummingbirds, which I'm definitely going to use when I go to school.
That's
Have
cool.
that on the background.
Nice. Yeah, that's Luis de Leon. Yeah.
Brain did not brain as far as.
No worries. No, there's a lot going on Twitch. Fantastic. Well, as we get ready for this raid, happy Thursday Birds Day, everyone. Let's go see some living dinosaurs at Hoot House Livestream, and hopefully you'll see some dead dinosaurs tomorrow if we find some more bones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I may or may not be at this site tomorrow. We'll have to see. But thank you everybody for your attention, for your questions, for your kind words, for your financial support. That's the only reason I can be here. So thank you for that. And I hope to see you very soon. Hopefully we can stream tomorrow too. Until then, everybody, you take care of yourselves, and let's go say hello to Hoot House Livestream. I'll see you there. Oh, and happy birthday, Katey, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Take care, everybody. Let's go ahead and raid in, and then let me go here and end the stream.